Yo, yo, yo. Let's share the stream link around. I gotta do that first. First and foremost. Alright, I shared it on X. Let's go to Discord now. Maybe share it around in there a little. One second, I'm sharing the stream link around. I'll read the chat in a second. Alright. Who's all on the stream? Let's go over the game plan. Alright, so. And I'll keep it short and sweet. Just because, you know, who wants to hear a long-ass game plan? So above pre-market high, which is this level here, as well as the 643.10, basically this area right here, this highlighted area, this area gives short-term direction. So if we're above it, we're most likely moving up. Higher probability points that direction. Again, that means mostly. That doesn't mean we're 100% dead set on that going up if we're above that. No, we could get a good seller reaction as well. Let's switch it back. If we're below this area, there's a higher probability chance that we are moving down. Now, we have other levels to worry about, but this is the core of where you're looking at for direction, right? So the other areas that we could be looking at are pre-market high. We got pre-market low, way the F down here. And these are areas outside of that more core crucial area that we want to see seller or buyer signals from. So if I'm breaking down, like right now, that's a great sign. And I can start shorting right now, no problem, since that's part of the game plan. But to add on to higher probability, we would also want to see seller signals under this area as well. So not as tedious going down today as it is up, just because you have two levels that are so close together. Whereas the downside, there is a little bit of room to that next level. Does that make sense to everybody? Before we move on. So you're really looking for buyers outside of this and short-term sellers under this and PML. But I just wanted to make sure we were all clear on that before I move on, because you all know me. I can kind of just start talking in circles. But I wanted to make sure we all understood what we were looking at before we moved on. And we can talk about other charts as well, but I wanted to make sure we were good on this one just because I think we should get some good movement today. Just because yesterday was a little bit expected, in my opinion. I'm sorry, but if you... And I'm not making fun of anybody here, but if you were in the mindset of trying to trade actively yesterday, I think you're a little crazy. I think this is actually one of the more easy things to see just because it was a Monday. We have Jackson Hole this week. We got FOMC meetings this week. Minutes this week. Meetings. So there was a lot riding on the line of Monday opening. And I just didn't think it was going to move. And I'm kind of glad I had that intuition to just kind of chill. Because that was crazy. All right. Into the chat now. Good morning, Justin. Good morning, Gary. Good morning, Optioneer. Good morning, King Carnage. And good morning, Lag. Good to see all of you. Good morning, VC. Good to see you as well. Yesterday was pretty simple to trade. Because the range it held, or what? I was just meaning it in terms of like you really shouldn't have been looking for it to go that far yesterday. In my opinion, it's just like I said this last week before the weekend hit. It was one of the last things I said in one of my last streams. I mean, it's just you gotta just chill. Sometimes that Monday isn't your friend, especially when there's a lot opening up that next week. Like Monday is sometimes just like a let me get my breath kind of day. Good morning, Dev. Good to see you. Good morning. Don't forget to like the stream, guys. But are we all good on the game plan before I move on? I want to make sense of this before I move on. Because I want to look at SPX. I want to look at Coin with everybody. Where is she at? There she is. Coin is in a pretty crazy spot. So yesterday, maybe I can just show you what I did again. So I already have these basic levels everywhere. And then I was like, well, it hit its low, and it's trying to make a higher low. So if this is a higher low, I'll go from the low to the high of this candle, and then the high to the low of this candle. Therefore, direction has to come from this area. But then you go to the smaller time frames, and it's like, what the F? It's like, it bounced yesterday, it held here, so it's trying to hold the bottom of this for its life. It looks like if it falls under 317.50, it looks like this is giving up short term. If it was to hold 317.50 and 320s and push back over PMH and CDO, PMH mainly, this could be a good setup. And because of this day right here, we might have to wait a day or two. So just making sure I have that ready beforehand. But yeah, coin is a big one I'm looking at. And if you were just wanting to see what I was drawing, that's all I drew. I didn't draw anything crazy yet. So definitely check that one out. I always like NVIDIA. I always like Tesla. I always like AMD. I'm pretty sold on all of those. AMD having a pretty horrible opening today. Everyone keeps saying PLTR this morning, so let's check it out. What's happening? Oh. Honestly, that's not that bad. I thought it was worse than this. I've been saying for the longest time I've been waiting for them to chill because they made it past all 3 fib extension targets, which is crazy. You just don't do that. No one does that. Why does it look so crap? There we go. But how was everyone? Good morning, good morning. I was not here yesterday to take care of... I mean, I'm not even going to sit here and like try to cap or anything. I was honestly just taking care of a couple dogs just because my mom was out of town. But sometimes it happens. But it looks like it ran in at the perfect time for me not to have to trade yesterday. Because I was already kind of in the mindset of like, I really don't want to touch this tomorrow. Or yesterday I was saying that. I was like, I really don't want to touch this today. Alright, making sure that was posted. IWM might be worth looking at today just because of the junk we have this week. So I would definitely keep IWM on a watch list. I'll go back to SPY. What the hell? I'm gonna remove these arrows because I don't like to leave them on because it freaks people out. I mean, imagine lunchtime. We're like, we already broke out, hit this, or broke down and hit this, and then we're settling, and then we're moving back up, and they see a down arrow right here. It's like, that would still be a correct arrow. It's just, I don't want to throw anybody off. I'd be pissed if that happened to me. Where is it raining right now? It's raining where I'm at. Maddie told me it was raining where he was at, and he's in the opposite side of the United States as me. Is it raining for anybody else right now? Good morning, good morning. It rained for 3 microseconds here in Arizona just to hit my car last week. That's fucked. Yeah, that was the only reason I was asking, because I was like, damn, it's raining crazy. Like, no wonder I was sleeping so good this morning. And then Maddie he's all the way in the north, he said it was raining there crazy too. So it's like, damn, it's raining everywhere. Wait, what did you say? Watching your mom's dogs. Please watch Free Guy and quote what gamer says to his mom. I'd bust my stitches laughing. Free Guy, isn't that the Ryan Reynolds movie? I think I already have seen it. Oh, yeah. No spoilers, but pretty sure there's like a... I can't say anything actually without spoiling it. I was about to say something like, wait a minute, that's at like the end. Relax. I've seen that movie. I'm a really big Ryan Reynolds fan, to be honest. He's just like... He's one of the few actors that you could watch a movie and he's playing like the same role basically because it's Ryan Reynolds, and you still don't care because it's Ryan. You know, you just don't care because he's just that good. He's one of the few actors I could like continue watching where they do that. And he's not doing anything specifically. That's just the Ryan Reynolds, you know, persona. And quote what the gamer says to his mom. I don't remember that. He must have said something crazy because I really don't remember that. Honestly, when you said Free Guy, I thought you were talking about the movie where it's like him, and then there's like a version of him that's young, and he bumps into that one, where he goes back or goes into the future or something. That one's good. Free Guy is really good. I really like Free Guy because it's not just Ryan Reynolds. There's a couple other people in there that are pretty funny too. Like the guy that works at the bank or whatever, that he works at. Oh, put that sock down. Good morning, Dr. J. Good to see you, dude. Me and Gary were just discussing random Ryan Reynolds movies that are not named Green Lantern. That was also a pretty big inside joke in Deadpool that I didn't really catch at first. But he was like interviewing that one chick, and he's like, yeah, do you know Ryan Reynolds from before 2008? And she was like, who's that? And he was like, you're hired. It's just like, because that was, he's mentioning like Green Lantern, Ryan Reynolds sucked. That wasn't Ryan Reynolds' fault, though. I mean, it was a pretty weak idea. But yeah, that movie was really good, though. Very memorable. Seeing the bigger version of him was funny, too. That was the thing I was trying to spoil, but not spoil. I will say no more. Cost is still under 1,000. I posted this one a while ago in my chat. Or not a while. I say a while ago. It was like probably last week. Just because it's like positioned insane. I just don't understand how it's even down here. It doing this amazed me. Let me go find my post so I can reply to it with this one. Oh god, There's so many messages. Here we go. Cost update. Nope, that's definitely not it. Oh no, that is it. Oh, here it is. Here it is. I'll pull it up on stream. How do you do that? Open in browser. There we go. I was like, where the hell did that go? So this is what this looked like before. This is what it looks like now. Alright, back to the stream. Let me click this and that. Alright. Sorry guys, my bad. Probably had this up a little too long. Back to Spy. And good morning, good morning. You have to watch that one. It's not as good as if you're talking about that. It's like Adam something, like Save Adam or just Adam. I can't remember the name. It's on Netflix though. But that one's not as good as Free Guy. Like you already saw the better one. No, he's in a shit ton of movies, dude. There's another movie called Six that he's in that's pretty crazy. There's another movie called I don't know, there's a bunch of random stupid ones that he's done that weren't like, oh, it's coming out in theaters, blah 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 kind of thing. He's done a lot of those. Yeah, we're doing Spy updates and Ryan Reynolds updates at the same time. Potentially seeing a bearish retest if you see us fall back out under this highlighted area and under pre-market low. That would confirm that. That would validate that. Any push back over 643.35, which is the pre-market high, we have to assume that that's invalidating for sellers. So right now it looks like sellers are in control, but that can of course be changed. So, but as of right now, that looks to be the case. If anybody have any questions on that, let me know. What invalidates a buyer, what invalidates a seller, that kind of thing. Basically, if we see any kind of move over this, that kind of ruins it short term for sellers. And if we see any moves that actually do get a push under this, not just touching it, then it kind of ruins it for this for the buyers. I was about to say sellers again. Be sure to like the stream. They tell me that helps out, but I really don't know. Share the stream link around. That helps. And that's it. Engage as well. Say hi. Say good morning. Or not. Bad morning. But welcome. Let me know what you're looking at. Let me know what's up. The Adam Project. There you go. That's it. That's it. That's it. Yeah, 6 Underground. There you go. There you go. He's got the whole names for me. Yeah, Adam Project was good. And then, yeah, the 6 Underground one's pretty good, too. I can't even give you a good spoiler, because it's like, if I say anything, it kind of ruins it. Because there's some shit that happens at the beginning, and it's like, okay. Like, it happens, and then you're like, okay, this movie's different. I'll watch. It kind of, like, locks you in. But, yeah, definitely check that one out. You'll like that one if you like Free Guy. Waiting for the drink to kick in? I'm assuming an energy drink. By the way, let's look at contracts too. Today's the 19th. 641, 644. Okay, that's kind of like our outer range. So I instantly look right here at our gamma, and as soon as it goes to like 0.10, that's my furthest range. So I could look at this contract, this contract. This is probably the best one because it's the closest to 0.10, and it's not like super expensive. So that's probably the best one. This is probably your other best one, and this is like worst case scenario. Yeah, you could do it, but it's gonna be pretty weak. It even just went below zero point 0.10 gamma. So it's probably these two you should be looking at. And then upside plays are probably going to be looking at the exact opposite of that. Flip it over to here. Check out your gamma. That one's good. That one's good. That is not. That's kind of riding the edge there, kind of like this one is. So those are your three. Like, see how I didn't take that long to look at contracts? It really doesn't take that long. I really hate when people are like, you really need to check out the open interest when you're looking at SPY. It's like, oh, do I know? I need to check SPY, open interest. That's crazy to me. And it always blows my mind too when someone who actually scalps will sit there and tell you that they actually check theta. That one amazes me every time. That to this day has probably been the biggest scam any day trader / scalper has ever learned. Like, yeah, maybe a day trader who's a little bit slower is gonna need to somewhat think about it, but that's not really what you're fighting against when you're trading a same day contract. When you're trading a same-day contract, you're more or less battling the volatility that contract provides, or may get in the future, who knows, depending on what move the chart gets. More important than your theta. If you're checking theta on a contract you're trading within just minutes of itself, or less than an hour, you're on crack. And you've been lied to, so quit looking at that. That's not important to you. It doesn't help you. Stop letting it scare you. I hear that a lot. I hear a lot of people be like, I hate options because they have theta. I'm like, yeah, man, yeah, you're valid. Valid crash out. And then they're like, so I'm going to go to futures. Also valid. Totally valid. But then I look and all their trades are like same day trades, scalp trades, and you see them bitching about theta, and it's like, brother, what? Brother, that has no power over you. It's amazing to me. No, you're good, Gary. Please, more of that, please. You don't have to worry about me. I'm gonna go back to being on topic again, but I love when people go off topic because then I can actually enjoy myself a little bit. So don't even worry about that. Swings all day, but same day? Nah, yeah, like that's what I'm saying. They think theta is what's messing with their contracts when it's really volatility, weaker delta gamma ratio. Like if you have a weak delta to gamma, your contract just doesn't have fuel. Like last time I checked, any vehicle needs fuel. Your trade is going to need some fuel. The chart itself is going to need some fuel if it's going to somehow give you a move that is good enough for that kind of opportunity to actually pay out those profits. It always amazes me. So I just wanted to go on that little rant here at the beginning because it is amazing that I see that a lot still. Not really in my chat necessarily, but I do see that a lot where people are like, I'm not doing options anymore because there's theta. And then you're like, well, what kind of trades do you do? Like, oh, I just do scalps. I just scalp. I only scalp within 30 minutes. Like, sorry to tell you this, brother, but theta's not your enemy. Yeah, first IV crush. But you know what's sad though? Is like how Lag just put it. He said newer traders. I still see this in people who have been doing this for like a few years now. You know, maybe they're not profiting crazy or anything like that, but I see people who've been around the market for years and they're still bitching about something like that, not realizing what implied volatility even is. And I always put it to my chat the same way every single time I explain it. Because it's the most, like, I've dumbed this down so much that a child could maybe understand this. Because it's just like, the example itself just is crazy. But let's say, and this probably isn't a good example to share to a child. The way I put it, my little analogy. But let's say me, Lag, and 8 other jackasses, we're all gambling, right? We're all gambling. We're taking bets. We're throwing dice. We're doing whatever, right? Let's say 9 out of the 10 of us all bet on that something would go up or something would go down, right? We're all betting on the same side as each other, right? there's only one person who could profit from that if he even places a bet against it, right? So if I'm one of those 9 people, and let's say we're right, let's say we bet on the stock price to go up, and it goes up a little bit. Like, bet, we won that bet, we're good, let's get our payout. There's only one person or 0 that bet against us for our payout, right? So our payout is not going to be, oh, all 9 of us get $10. No, all 9 of us are going to be pissed because we're not going to make it. We're going to lose money. We're not going to get back any money as much as compared to what we put in, because we're part of the larger crowd that bet on the right decision, on the thing that actually worked, on the parameter that hit, right? So if we're all betting on the same side, where the fuck can the money go to actually pay out to us? There is no money, right? If anything, we're getting just a couple bucks back, tops, right? That's best case scenario. So it's the same thing when it comes to implied volatility. If you have volatility, and people always are like, IV crush this, IV crush that. Like, it's such an easy term to throw around, but it really is that simple. It's not that hard. So let's say, and this is where liquidity grabs, this is the science behind liquidity grabs, too. This is why liquidity grabs have such a 90% entry. This is why they have such power behind them. When you have an invalidation of, let's say, let's try to do a little drawing with it. Let's say you have an invalidation of bears. So it looks like bears are taking over. They got the most obvious breakdown of a support. This right here is where your contracts are going to start moving because they got the break of a level. There's a new low of day happening. What fucks people every time? The wick up. Now let's say the wick up let's say that candle does close and you get more price action and they move back up and they hit their head against this. That's okay. Like, that's something you could still sit there and be like, okay, I have a chance of being able to hold this trade. Let's say that doesn't happen. Let's say they get above this a little bit. What has now just happened? And you might think it's not that big of a detail, but it's actually the biggest detail yet. The invalidation of the seller and the potential validation of the buyer, creating a lot of volatility. When I say the word volatility, I want you to think of the word energy, of gasoline inside of a tank. That's what I want you to think about. Because when we have enough volatility, invalidated right here by buyers against the sellers, so the sellers are wrong, buyers are right, there's going to not just be a little bit of a reaction that just holds here. It's most likely going to give us a pretty big reversal over the next couple candles, just because we had such an unexpected invalidation, right? We had 9 out of 10 people saying, yes, it's going to go down. It's obviously breaking this level, so it has to go down. That's what all of us are probably thinking. You get the retake of that level, it's now invalidating that. Damn, that was kind of hard to look at with all that information on the screen. That looked crazy for a second. What does that say? But, yeah. That was my breakdown. So, whenever you see something that's, like, obvious, just avoid it. Right? And that's why I really like our system, because not everything is obvious. Like, yes, a break above pre-market high. That's fucking obvious. But what about this? You now have added validation. There's not just one level we're relying on. We're actually relying on 2 to hold and go back up to this area. Kind of the same thing for the downside, too. There's always another level. There's always something else to look at. And that's why we use the context of levels. That's why we use PEMDAS, the order of operations for... I'm trying my best. Order of operations for the system. So you know that there is a way of thinking about things. It's not just, oh, level broke by call. Level broke up by call. Level broke down by put. Like, we're not cavemen, so stop acting like a caveman. But yeah, that's my breakdown for volatility, implied volatility, IV crush, all that bullshit. If someone wants to go back and clip that, be my guest. That would be helpful. Actually, don't do that. I'll do it at the end. But yeah, so I just wanted to make sure we're all on the same page with that, because I do see a fair amount of people complain about that. I just want to make sure we're all good. Because I think it's really easy to get frustrated and then be like, fuck this, and to just move on. It's like... And if that's your choice, do it. I'm not going to sit here and hold you back. Do what you want. But let's not also act like that's the only thing you can do to avoid theta. I really do call it caveman trading. If you see someone complaining about volatility or theta, just some basic shit, it's caveman trading. Like, over level by call, under level by put. Theta is bad, but gamma is great. It really is. And to be honest with you, theta is really not that bad either. It's just misinterpreted, I would say. I think people see one video or one breakdown on it, and they're like, oh, okay, so just avoid that altogether. Bet. Check. It's like, no. If you're scalping or you're making quicker day trade, you shouldn't even be thinking about that. You shouldn't even be thinking about your theta. We used to have really cool. I mean, we still have them. I guess I could resend them in the chat. Let me go find them. But there's some really cool, quick images that break all of this down for you in one of our learning servers. I think it's in the BB Stock Options Academy. Yeah, it is. Here it is. And I had my friend at the time. I don't know where he is these days. Make these two images. I had him make these two images on the main two important Greeks. Right? There's other Greeks, but these are the two that are most important. Check those out. Those images are really cool. You should save them. He made them, and I've saved them ever since. They're just really clean. They even have my name at the bottom right with our stupid Instagram name. Oh, sorry if I didn't notice anybody who joined in. Good to see you, Riak. Always good to see you, Riaku. I don't think I missed anybody else. I already said hi to Lag and Docta. They complain they can't trade FOMC, but don't realize the contracts are juiced for a reason. That's another big thing that I see in our chat too, though. So I really can't complain about the overall population of trading, but in my chat I see that a lot too. Like, if my chat is dead on a FOMC day, I smile because I'm like, okay, good. Everybody's just doing whatever they're doing today. They don't need to be looking at this junk. Because there's two things that I don't like about high volatile events. Yes, you might get some movement, but it might not be profitable movement. And then number two is that if you hate theta, oh, I already read that. My bad. But number two. Wait, hold up, guys. We're about to break pre-market high. Shut up, Josh. Bro, are you telling me in the first 32 minutes we tested the range I'm trying to trade around? From here to here? And we've done that now? We've pretty much hit PML. And we've gone above PMH. I guess I could pop this out for you guys. I need to remember to do that more often. Because I'm using my phone or my other screen when I trade. But I like to read the quotes out as well because it's just kind of nice to know, okay, well, that moved really well. And then other times we'll be like, damn, that didn't move as well as I thought it would. So it's like kind of just nice to have a feeling for how things move when they should be going your way. Like right now, I'm seeing a lot of really good quotes move right now. Like the 643 is well over 100 a contract now. At the time of us covering that before breakout, it was a measly $80. So it's just kind of nice to think like, oh, okay, it moved that much. It moved about $30. But you think $30, you need to do the instant contract math when you do that too. So if it was like, let's say it was $70, and it moved $35. Do the math. How much is that? That's 50%. You know, it's not $35, it's 50%. You need to get more used to the context of, oh, it moved this much, not, oh, it moved $29. I would have made $30 on that. Nice. Minus, you know, your commissions and all that. And now that contract's at 144. So it's actually done a double, which again, we wouldn't have entered at 70 on the dot or anything, but it's just kind of cool to understand that. I really do think if you're going to get these reps, like, you really do got to see it for yourself first, then try to, you know, take action. But if you don't even see what it looks like first, it doesn't really help. Like, have you ever driven a car before? No. But you've probably seen people drive a car before you drove yours. Then you drove yours and you had a somewhat idea of what you should be doing. It's kind of the same thing here. Definitely drop a like on the stream, guys. It helps out a ton. Share the stream link around. Glad to see you all. If you have anything else to say or ask, just throw it out there. I'm reading as many comments as I can. Actually, let's be honest. I read all of them. Not even going to try to sit here and sell myself short. The energy drinks always flush me out. What is your favorite energy drink again? Or what is your concoction that you make? I wouldn't be surprised if this man put protein in his energy drinks. Oh, that's right. Lit AFs. That's right. He said F now. I don't know, man. You might be crazier than I thought. Honestly, you think if you ever see someone who, like, drinks energy drinks or any of that stuff, or protein, or like you know, thinks they're like tough, like, they have not met Sinful. That man has had some crazy concoctions / days of drinking that stuff. Those are the same people who probably work out without music. Wait, those people exist? I didn't even know you could work out without music, honestly. I didn't think it was, like, humanly capable. I couldn't do it. They eat I like how you went for the YouTube. You didn't even go for, like, they're watching TV, they're doing this, they're doing that. No, just YouTube only. That's funny. It's funny that those are potential red flags in today's world now. But, like, pretty valid. That was pretty good. Yeah, you just see someone pumping iron in the gym and you don't see any earbuds in or anything. You're like, what is going on? Calls police immediately. Oh, by the way, guys, I wanted to bring this up because that was honestly incredible. Last week, y'all actually did pretty fucking good on the views for the last stream we did together. I think this was Wednesday. Wait, 240 is fucking crazy. You can compare it to the other few streams we've done. I don't know who was sharing my stream link around that day. But yeah, thank you guys for that. There was also really, really good, active, like, engaging conversation that whole stream, too. I didn't watch it all, but I went back and watched some of it. I was skipping through it, and I was like, damn. Kind of sounded like I knew what I was doing on the stream. That's pretty cool. We did get the buyer breakout, as we've all probably seen by now. Right now, what we're looking for is a potential reset candle. A reset candle is a candle that holds above the 50% of the breakout. So, pretty easy to draw. And you can draw it with your fib if you want. But we broke out pre-market high to here. So if it continues to hold whatever that 50% is, 643.73. This is something you can use, and I have really old videos on this. A lot of my older guys in here use this still. But this here can be a really good rule of thumb away from your stop loss. So let's say I was entering in the middle of this, and this is really good conversation for a lot of you, so I hope some of you guys are listening, because I've heard a lot of people complain about open range breakouts, and there's really a lot of things you can do with them, and a lot of them kind of start with the same rule. It's almost like don't enter instantly. But if you do, I wanted to go over that instance. If you do enter instantly, you're like, all right, let me take this 40% breakout. Let me see, because I think it is going to go up. You know, you're just hell-bent on the fact that it is definitely going to go up. Awesome. Totally for you. You need to be drawing that because 2 reasons. 1, it's just good to have a rule of thumb of what's trying to hold and what isn't without it destroying your profit loss. Because let's say you entered here, right? And then it hit this, and you're like, all right, well, I trimmed some. Let me see if I can make this go further. Or maybe you didn't sell at all. Maybe you're just being a greedy bastard. And you're like, you know what? I need to hit my target, or I need to hit my stop loss. Anything else is meaningless. Totally fine. Then you need to be drawing this from the, in this case, the pre-market high to this high right here, because this is where the breakout happened, right? So you need to see the ground gained. The ground gained. Holy shit, speak English. So, that's a good rule of thumb. Number 2, probably the more important reason. Stop loss. So, let's say you entered here, and you don't really understand where your stop loss should be. Besides the obvious, if this breaks this level, I'll sell it again. You know, that caveman thinking. Totally cool. I get that. But you're going to be down like 60%. Like you're going to be down a lot more than you think, because when this candle, again, back to volatility, lag, help me out here. If we get a entry here and it's as this candle is already giving us this big ass Hulk candle, right? Then you're probably in one of those scenarios where a lot of people are probably betting on this because it's a little bit more obvious, right? Compared to the not as obvious, where it isn't just a big fat ass green candle breaking a level to the upside on a new high of day as well. Like this is the most obviously green candle ever. So there's going to be a lot of people entering towards the end of this, towards the second half of this, because they think, oh, let me get in. I don't want to be late to this resistance, if they even have that drawn. Which if they're thinking like that, they probably don't have anything drawn. But it's also good for stop loss. Like I was saying earlier, let me get back to that point. Because if you end up getting a break of this, and then it gets down to here, you're going to be looking at a loss where you're like, fuck, why did I hold that? Because volatility is now switched back. 9 out of 10 of those people that were in this, betting on it to go up, have already started exiting as it's getting down here. So when you go to exit, are you just down 20%, 25%, 30%? No, it's probably a lot worse because of volatility and how people are treating this, right? So by getting this 50%, let me just draw this. By getting this 50% drawn, you can also kind of tell yourself, all right, well, we're still holding above this. A higher probability favors me still, right? But let's say it breaks this. Now you can make a decision where you're like, let me cut this early before it, completely cuts me up, before it gets down to here again. And you can actually make that decision with reasoning, not just, oh, I think it's going to do that. I feel like it's going to do that, man. I don't know, man. Like, fuck all that. You're not really helping yourself. And you can still use the dotted lines as targets if you want. In this case, they happen to line up perfectly with their 2 levels above, but that will not always be the case. That was a lot of talking. But I hope that makes sense. I have a lot of videos and a lot of breakdowns on this kind of thing. It's pretty easy. I would say it's easy to draw, hard to manage yourself, which maybe some of you it isn't that hard. Maybe some of you, you're just so in full self-control you don't have that issue. But give yourself reasons to make these decisions on why you're going to keep holding or why you're not going to keep holding. Yep, exactly. Lag to death. That market buy at an inflated rate. And that's what I was meaning too, is like if it comes back down, like you're not just down what you think you're down a lot more because of that inflated rate. In the moment you won't feel it. In the moment you won't know it. But you need to start understanding on the chart you will know it. So you need to start using whatever our chart is telling us. We need to start actively using. A very good point though. Good morning, guys. That was a fast outside bar on the SPY daily. What's up, Garden? Good to see you. What's up, Carter? Also good to see you. Everybody's joining in now. What's up, Carter? I snap when you preach like we had a poetry slam. You're just like, yes. Yes. I can't even recreate it, but that I had it playing in my head. Zero self-control sometimes, yeah. I feel you on that, Carter. But at least we can make sense of things using what we have, right? And it's funny because like all right through there's not a single point on what you could contest on anything I was covering, just because I was using reasoning for every little thing. It's not like I ever sat here using caveman thinking, going, red candle do this, so green candle do that. Like I have no fucking idea. I'm just using theoretical, proven probability to help me, right? Theoretical meaning I'm not always going to be right. There's going to be situations where we see something go against us, but we're definitely going to be more right than not. So, I'll take that. Again, probability helping us out. Really, really cool probability posted by Dr. J the other day. If you want to check out some of that data, I thought that was really, really cool. Oh yeah, we can go to Tesla real quick. Ooh, good mention, Lag. I was gonna say, I think your mention's doing a lot better than mine. Mine fell through the floor and looks like it wants to reject. Actually, we might be looking at a bearish retest on coin. Might have to short that. Can start shorting that instead of stop loss at 318. I posted that in the wrong channel. Fuck it. I also like trading coin because it's like you don't have to have market confluence. It's like Tesla. It doesn't really need other market help. It's just on its own. Check trade floor. I need criticism. I got you. Thanks. Working on it still. We'll release more later. Thank you, Dr. J. And honestly, when you do, please tag me because I would love to just. You don't know. You don't even know how long I was staring at what you had already sent. I was looking at it for a while. I was in awe. I'm telling you, combining those FEG with the BB system. I've heard that a lot, Lag. Ace does it. You do it. So you won't hear me complain. And yeah, Gary, let me go see what you did. Wait a minute. Oh, it's Linwood. Sorry, the name was fucking me up again. I noticed every time price retraces while holding the same day cons, you lose a lot more than you gain, especially if I hold a trade longer than 5 to 10 minutes. Where's it at? Oh, here. It's this scalp, right? Yeah, it has to be this. Scalp to paper trade on that breakout, listening to the man. Hey man, you're the man. I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy here on a stream. So did I mess up? I was exiting my trade between an old fib level and PDH. Is there any way you could send me your chart as well? Or the times or something? Yeah, Gary is Linwood. Gary is Linwood, just like Frankie is Sandollar. You're good, Gary. Take your time. I'll check it whenever you need, man. I really do prefer when you guys share something and you ask me to look at it on stream, though, like Gary is right now. Because then it allows literally anyone to go back and watch that, right? If they want to be like, hey, this is where he started covering it, I can literally add a stream marker or whatever. It's just up to anyone in here. You know, and I know some people are at work, so they just can't do it at all, but it's just a little bit more effective, and I don't have to, like, type as much. Because it's like, sometimes typing doesn't do it justice. Like, if you were to be like, yo, what do I need to do here based on the system? And I go over it. Like, I'm going to give you a short summary when I type. Because I'm not going to do all that where I'm sending you 6 paragraphs. Because I don't expect you to read it or understand all 6 paragraphs. You know, it's like, there's just a lot. But if we sit here, I can actually break things down to a further extent. Because I can talk. So I do appreciate it when you guys bring up whatever you have to bring up here in the stream, because then I can actually go over it in a better way. But yeah, take your time. Take your time, Gary. And just for example's sake, let's see what happened there. They are still holding that 50%, which I guess we could just mark that for now. We don't have to... Oh, I got it first try. We don't have to keep adding that level, but I just wanted to see, because we did talk about it, I wanted to just get a good look at it. Does it hold that 50%, or does it give you a good early break that shows, hey, let me get the F out of this, which you kind of already did 2 candles in a row, and they're still holding. Pretty impressive. Oh, you're thinking it gets smacked under that 643.09. I mean, that is possible. It is pretty possible. And also another thing too is you had a little bit of energy built up down here for upside. If it was to do another break under this level, that'd be a lot of energy built up for downside. So right now, a lot of energy built up for more up. We saw it in this candle, a lot of it in this candle. Right now we're trying to see, do we get a second leg from that? If not, then I do think we kind of lead into what you just said, lag. Potentially seeing that break lower, but under that crucial level, the previous day control point. Done. One day I'll change my name on YouTube. You're good, man. I know some people, though, who do take offense to that. They'll be like, what the fuck? You don't know who I am? It's like, yeah, I don't know who you are. Your name is one on the other, and one on is different on the other. Like, well, people actually think like that. But no, it's not a big deal. Let's pull this up on the browser. Oh, wait. Here we go. I can just do it on my chart. Alright, so so you did do the example we've been going over. You did actually take an open range breakout right here. And then you exited into a little above 643.80s. Okay, so pretty funny. It's actually really close to that level. It looks like you sold a little bit above it, though. Like you're a little bit beyond it. Which that's fine. I'm just taking note here. Okay, so you actually did take the example we've been going over like 5 times. That's awesome. Let's see here. This and last week range is sandwiched. I'm 4 out of 4 off of that yesterday low level. Wait, that's what that means, right? Yesterday's low? Okay. It made sense. I was like, wait a minute. I also got confused because I was like, oh, he meant PDL. And then I was like, well, wait, why did he have a Y? Y and P aren't that close on the keyboard. I like looked down for a second. I was like, wait a minute. I say, do you know who I am every time I get pulled over? I'm hoping for a viral moment on a cop body. Wow, you're really fighting for something more important. I appreciate that. He said, guys, I don't care about myself. It's for the content. But Gary or Linwood, either one. Either name's fine with me. This is fine. I don't see anything wrong with this. Did you draw this level before or after we went over this? I mean, or not draw it, but did you like have it in mind before or after, or at all? I think that's the only question I have for you, and then I can criticize your trade. Which it might be a good criticism. Who knows? Who knows these days? Potentially seeing a fourth loss of that level, guys. We have not gotten a single candle closing under 643.73, but we have 4 candles in a row breaking that level and not holding under. So it's like they're trying to tell us, hey, we're trying to break this. We're trying to break this. We're trying to break this. And we're finally seeing a break. We'll see if we get a hold under that level. That could reset the momentum back to the downside if we do get a hold under that. But either way, Linwood, regardless of if you ever had that level in mind or not, I really don't see anything wrong with this trade. The only time I criticize these trades in a bad way is when someone does this, like enters on the open range breakout, which is totally fine with me. But I can't stand it when they don't treat the second half of the trade as much as they did the first half, right? So if I'm treating this trade as an open range breakout scalp, I'm getting in quick, right? How should I apply that to my exit? The exact same. I should be exiting quick. I should be not thinking about holding to the moon. I shouldn't be thinking about holding for 20 minutes because I got into a trade that is literally asking me to get out very soon. So, no, there's nothing wrong with your trade. If you would have said, I didn't sell on that green candle, I held, I would have been pissed. I would have been pissed. Because I would have been like, what the fuck? Like, I go over this 100 times. But you didn't. You applied it. You applied that energy of like, okay, I'm going fast here, let me be fast here. It didn't need to be perfect. You're already on a super volatile candle. You're on a faster roller coaster than the rest of us were. My roller coaster has safety precautions. Your roller coaster has flames coming off the side of the rails. So, no, there's nothing wrong with this trade. Did I add a fire emoji on your trade? I did not. I was typing. I look back over to my left and I see we died. I'll remove your things. I need to go check my... Oh, dude, I thought I was fucking rich. Oh my god, who saw that half-second glitch where it looked like coin was on the floor? I thought coin was at 305. By the way, we're up fat on this already. Dude, who saw that half-second glitch? It was still transitioning between the charts. I swear, if you heard me just now, you heard my soul leave my body. I thought I just witnessed like a $10 drop within like 10 minutes. I was like, there's no fucking way. This is my trade of the day. I love those videos, drunk DA being pulled. Those are pretty crazy. I think the funny clips are the ones where they give them like a crazy hard test and they pass it anyway. And it's like, what the fuck? Some of those alcohol tests need to be edited a little bit. Because there are some people who can do. It's even funnier too when they pull over someone who hasn't been drinking and they fail the test. Those are the funniest ones. They'll be like, say the alphabet backwards. He's like, what the fuck? He's like, I barely know it forwards. 643.79 is an older fib level. 644.01 is what I had marked previous day high. Are those levels in question? Are those the levels in question? No. This one. You didn't draw it. You didn't draw it. So I'm assuming it was after. But it was just the one that we were covering together. I was just wanting to see if you had this in your mind or not. But this was after your trade. So that was a stupid question for me to ask you anyway. Me like, yo, did you draw this or not? Or did you have it in mind? And then I was like, wait a minute. He already entered and exited before this level even could have been drawn. So that was a stupid question to ask you anyway. But no. Those were not the levels in question. Which, funny enough, previous day high was there, but that wasn't even my focus, just because it was this kind of day. I was just like, it's alright. So I just left my levels the same. But I'm glad you had that marked and ready to go. I was just making sure you understood, like, okay, I'm getting into a fast trade. Let me get out fast. Not, let me try to hold this to the moon. Especially when you get this kind of candle following up after you enter. Like, you really can't complain after that kind of move. Okay, I'm trimming some coin here, guys. Did anybody join coin with me? Trimming because it's near the low. Trust me, I would love it to be a $10 drop. I love making trades on the ones that I prepare for the night before as well. Because this was the one that I looked at and I was like, dude, we could totally trade longs on this. But it didn't give me that. It gave me a short setup today. I was prepared for longs, but we ended up having to take a trigger on the shorts. Can someone confirm? Let's confirm with Fantastic John here. He is correct. That is, yes. That is a kicker. Garden's comment is the funniest one to me today. Good morning, guys. Wasn't that the fastest outside bar ever? I was sitting there like, wait a minute. She's right. That is an outside bar. Because yesterday was so shit. But it still counts. It still counts. Rules are rules. If anybody in here is actually freaking out about Palantir, you just need to relax. It almost went to 200. Rough fucking lax. So, guys, I have a trick question for you, and I really hope some of you get this right, because in my head it's a trick question, but after you see the answer, you'll be like, oh, okay, that wasn't really a trick question. So we drew this level here, this one, 643.73, using the pre-market high to the high breakout here, using this fib. Now that this is kind of like behind us, you know, we've seen the invalidation of it for this candle. Is this a level we should keep, or is this a level that we can delete now and move on? Because it's not really a level we had set before. It's not really anything we're using for direction. It was more or less for short-term direction on this candle. Right? So if we were in a trade in this candle or looking to get in a trade around that, then we could use that. But now that we've already broken it and we're down below it, can we delete it or should we just leave it? Because again, it's not telling us, hey, it's going up or down. That was for in that moment, not now. So is this something we should take out of our way, or is this something we should leave in the way? Today is going to be another poopy range day. Hey, keep your mouth shut. We're going to have a great day. The Ukrainian guy wore a fucking suit, man. So the market's going to start pumping now. JD Vance logic. I try to practice on short trades due to work and use smaller targets to exit trades. Aim small, miss small. That's one of my favorite fucking lines. And due to work, I can easily become distracted for several hours. Now, that's smart. It's also just smart logic, because if you're going to treat something and be in it fast, you need to treat the second half of that the same way. You know, kind of like how you did on your trade. Where you knew, you're like, okay, well, I kind of got into a volatile candle here. Let me, let me be smart about this. And then you allowed it to just keep going. And then you got out. You didn't make it any more complicated than it needed to be. And yes, I generally put your pre-market level on my chart in blue before market open, or at least check and see if I'm close. You're good. I was just asking because this was something that I had added afterwards. But you're good. Keep of the day for short-term targets or slowdowns. I would. Looks like a weak level. Garden says delete it. Oh, keep for the day for short-term targets or slowdowns. You could keep it as that, maybe. I mean, if you do that, make it like a dotted line or something. But don't leave this as like a solid line to scare yourself. Because in my opinion, I would delete it. You have context right here. If you need to use anything in the future. Short-term for today. I say in the future. I mean today, intraday. But the answer I was looking for was yes, delete it. But I kind of like what you said, though, Gary. If you did end up leaving it, though, I would change it to like a dotted line or something, so you remember, okay, this wasn't something I was using to be bullish or bearish. This was more or less like a tertiary level that I could use for targets or something like that. I like that idea. That was not a bad answer. Report Len at work because he's not working. He's market buying breakouts. Hey, man, he's just multitasking. Snitches get stitches. I'm not I'm not doing that. Loose lips sink ships. I'm good. Humana. Alright, I gotta watch this for a second, guys, because I'm in my last contract and I don't want to be stupid. What's up, Mansion and Benzes? AKAL, always keep all lines. I agree with the major lines. Levels I've had set for days, like that's great. But that was like a short-term intraday level. But I like that, ACAL. Always keep all lines. All lines matter, ALM. That would piss off some people, don't do that. All lines matter. Yes, coin. Keep dumping. Good morning, man. Good to see. I always love seeing your name mentioned. Dr. J. Yeah, canceled. He thinks all lines matter. That's crazy. Cancel him. No, no, no. He's saying lines, not lives. Lines. All levels lives matter. Quick 80% gain on the triple Q's. Busy morning at work. Hope it can chill with y'all later. Dude, good shit, Alexis. Round of applause for Alexis, everybody. He's super busy right now, and he's doing that. The Clanker memes are killing me. Oh, dude, I love Clanker memes. When I went to go play, like Battlefront for like a day, I went to go play for like 20 minutes. This was a while ago. I could not stop fucking crying laughing because in the text chat, everybody was typing. They were like, guys, don't type the R word. And then they were like, clanker, clanker. That shit is so funny to me. It's stupid, too. It's really stupid. It shouldn't be that funny. It's just funny that, like, in the world of, like, you know, like Star Wars, that there could be racism. It's just funny as hell. All right, I'm going to trim here. That was a pretty big candle. And now I'm out. Oh, fuck yes. I can chill. I can hang out with everybody in here. It's funny because I didn't even look at Gamma for this chain, but now I'm looking at it, I'm like, holy shit. It didn't matter for me today, but that's funny. Dude, I'm very happy with that. Tesla's pooping. Let me go look at that. Oh, wait. Before I leave, let me get this. We edited. We entered on this candle before it was a bigger candle. I wanted to say I want to edit this candle, but then I was like, wait, that would be kind of fucked up. It was kind of when this candle was smaller. I could show a picture if nobody believes me. Where are you at? There we go. So before it was a little bit more developed under that wick, because you can see it does fall under that wick pretty well. We were in on that candle. And then I started trimming as we hit this low because I was like, holy shit, we're actually like going down pretty quickly. Or sorry, towards the bottom of that candle. Like a 3-bar play. And then the fact that this candle was a pretty nice size, we're into this low right here. Breaking this low. Which I don't know why I keep drawing ovals. That was a good kind of second to last exit for me. So I was like, I'm done. But yeah, so that was the thinking behind coin if anybody was interested. I know I'm not actively sitting here just talking about my trade every 5 seconds, but that's because I don't like to psych myself out. I urge you to do the same. It always amazes me when like people overthink things because I'm the same way. I'm one of the biggest overthinkers in the chat probably. Alright, now I can just read. Generally, only keep fib levels on larger daily candles for short-term targets. That's fine. And if you guys create your own little methods or your own little reasonings and you just like your little routines, or maybe you find something you're like, I'm just going to do it that way every time, then do it. Like, you're never going to see me say, oh my God, that isn't perfectly in line with everything I've taught all of you. Stop doing that. Like, no, if you're found something that works for you, you're not going to see me complain. Maybe I want to see your findings or see like, hey, how'd you do this? Or why do you think that works so much? Or this or that. Maybe I'm just interested, but find something that works for you and stick with it. You're not going to see me complain about that because that is generally what our strategy is. It's just we found a couple things that work. We stick to them. We don't move away from them. And anytime we do, we make mistakes. We lose. Or we make money, we get lucky, and that's even worse than losing, in my opinion. Making wrong choices and getting lucky, that would be worse. Because then you're going to be wrong for a longer amount of time. Round of applause for Alexis. I can't like Lag's comment, but that's funny. Fortunately for me, I can sometimes have a lot of idle time. Don't be a hater. Yeah, exactly. Not going to see me hate. I know people in here who are unemployed, do absolutely nothing in trade. I know people in here who are fully employed, work 2 jobs, have a family, do this, do that, fly to the moon and back, and still do this. So, like, there really is no excuses for anybody. And no complaining either. So what someone else's situation is different than yours. You have no control or power over that, just over yours. So it's just always good to focus on yourself and be fortunate. Double outside bar. Garden's just sitting there in the daily like, yeah, do it again. Okay, now I have to go look because that's pretty amazing. Wait, on the daily or what? Yo, Lag, your comment earlier was pretty accurate. You said under PDCP when it would start picking up again, but to be fair, right after you typed that, a lot of things started consolidating and then dumped towards those levels. Pretty funny. Not funny if you're along right now, but pretty funny. I'm gonna go post on X. We haven't done that in like forever. Besides stream links. Alright, guys, I am done reading everything else. I'm just reading what you guys are saying in YouTube now. We are chilling. Looks like Spy is getting that breakdown, not only after losing the 643.70, 643.35, but also the 643. So losing these 2 areas, not a good thing. And you can see the reaction from that. You know, sometimes we get that slower breakdown, that more price actiony breakdown. This is not. This is just straight selling. It's also the combination. It's honestly crazy that we talked about what we talked about today. If you guys go back to the beginning of the stream, or you just think back on what we talked about already, we talked about creating energy for some of these larger candles, liquidity grabs, retakes, shit like that, volatility, implied volatility. All that conversation is actually perfectly summing up what you just witnessed. It's funny that we talked about that. I just think it's crazy timing. You know, just all this to build up that candle. And then they used all this uncertainty after, I would say after this broke here, that 50% of that breakout, that was a good starter. This was like a second, like, oh shit, we should not be rejecting that quickly. That should have been a pretty quick aggression sign for sellers. But it's just funny seeing that energy just explode, and now we're seeing large candles up and down today. But kind of tying back to what we talked about, though. I'm going to turn this off so we don't have to look as much junk. But I hope some of the conversations today really helped. Some people like to sit there and hide behind a wall and be like, yeah, those are really complicated, intelligent subjects that only the highest of people could talk about. You have to be in the upper echelons of trading to understand that. No, you don't. It really isn't that complicated. It can be made complicated, but it isn't. So I really hope some of you go back and watch some of that conversation that we talked about before all this movement, just to make sense of how things work, if that's something you give a shit about. If not, just focus on the levels and the order of operations so you understand how to use the context to use the right directions. Like, oh, this is telling me it's going up. Let's go up. Oh, that invalidated. Let me not be bullish anymore. Those kind of things. Also, good shit if anybody did take coin with me. That is under 310 now. I'm very happy with that. I'm done clicking on it now, but it's right there in my face flashing red, so I have to. Very, very happy with that. Just because we had planned that out the night before, but we were thinking we were going to be bullish on that today. Good thing we weren't hellbent on that. Good shit, Alexis. Good shit, Linwood. And good job, both of you, already posting. It's funny because you're both busy right now. And you both already had time to post your trade reviews. So I don't want to see any excuses from people in chat. If you take a trade, post that review later on in the day or when you have time. I got people working all day in the stream, and they still show up to post their reviews. So you're not as hungry as they are, if that's the case. 19 and 19 likes, guys. Thank you, guys. Everybody's liked the stream. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really wish I was here yesterday, like in terms of being here to stream. But on the other end of that, I was like kind of glad I wasn't. I don't know if I would have been happy with trying to force trades. Plus, I don't know if anybody's noticed, we're on like a 5 or 6 trade win streak. I need to go back and look, but we're doing pretty good in my past stream. I don't like to say the word call-outs. We really need to find another word. Updates. I'm on fire with my updates. I don't like to be like, did you get that call out? You know, I'll ask that, but I don't like to over ask it or push that to where you're making people think, oh, I can just follow you. No, I don't want you thinking that. You should still do your own trading, but you can definitely use me as a guidance, I guess. I'm not going to complain about that. But definitely don't want people to be in here and be like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. Making breakfast right now. Ooh, what are you making? I'm hungry. You're spoon feeding. I'm spoon feeding to the people who can make sense of this. Yeah. I don't want to just be sitting in here and someone randomly joins and I'm like buying puts on coin and they just join me. You know, I don't want that. I want to be able to say, oh, bears are validating under this or bulls are validating over that. Let's look at this contract. Like, I shouldn't have to say, hey guys, enter, like me literally. That would be me literally holding your hand, is me telling you what contract, me telling you exactly when and where, which I am still kind of doing, but not all the way. Like, I'm still making you work for it on your own. Because I'm just not doing that. No, I know. I know you're joking, but I have to be serious because if someone fucking reads that, they're like, "Oh my god, I could just join the stream and get callouts." I know you and me are joking. I just have to make sure everybody else understands that. Eggs with avocado and cheese, an omelet, basically. Hi, Bullard. Neri, I don't think you've ever typed my name correctly a single time. As long as I've seen you join streams, I've never seen you type my name right. But you know what? I love you regardless. Where did you get that 641.25 level? I put mine on 640. Thanks. 640 is still a fine level. But let's see. Where did I get that level? Most of these are halfway points at this point. Like, a lot of these levels I lazily grabbed and I'm just like, let me go from here to here. All right, that's a level. Let me go from here to here. All right, that's a level. So it's probably just a halfway point, to be honest with you. I wouldn't even be surprised if it was a halfway point. Yeah, that's probably what that is. It is just a halfway point. So I had a good level, basically Neri. I had a good level here and had a good level here. So to give myself a good level in between without making anything up, I just threw up a halfway point. Because I don't want to be like, let me short from here to here, you know? There's something in between there. We both know it. But your level is, your 640 is pretty close to my other level. I think every time I've mentioned this level too, I think I have just been saying 640. Because a lot of the times your psychological numbers do matter more. Plus it's just easier to communicate. Who the fuck wants to sit here and be like 641.25, 643.35 every time, you know? It is good to save your breath here and there. An omelet sounds good, Lag. An omelet sounds good, man. I'm a little jealous. You're making me a little hungry. But Neri, hopefully that was helpful. Let me know if you need anything else. If you guys have any questions or comments as well here for the stream, feel free to ask. Right now we're just watching Spy. If anybody wants to look at anything else, let me know. We did see a lot of really good movement today. I wouldn't say it was single directional movement for some of these charts, but for others they were. Thank you. No, thank you. That was a good question. DNUT, the ticker is down 1 cent on the day, guys. A lot of movement on that one. 0.28%. Linwood. Where is Linwood from? Why does that sound like it's from like it's from something? Like a house in Game of Thrones. House of Linwood. I'm so stupid. Alright, guys, still seeing bears in control directional wise. Might even be seeing a midterm retest away from that 642.68. That's if you grab a fib from that level to the low. You know how we were drawing the level from breakout to the high of this candle? And then we had that level in between and we were using it right here? That was going up. You could do the same thing right here going down to back test that. From level to low. And now, yep, that's what we wanted to see, barcodes. But now you could look at this and be like, all right, well, not just using this as a stop. Well, I mean, you could still if you wanted, but that's on you. A little bit too far for me. But really good show of hand here. If it ends up getting above this, you could start to, on an earlier amount of time, be like, okay, this is probably not going with me. And if it is rejecting it, you could be like, all right, well, I have something else to go off of that it might still keep going down. Again, level to actual low, level to actual high, because then you're just missing out on a lot. Don't overcomplicate it. But it looks like that one did hold, and that's actually, I still don't see it a lot done in chat, and it really does depress me a little bit because I have put a lot of emphasis behind the midterm retest, which that's all that is, from level to high, from level to low, and then focusing on that middle ground trading for higher probability outcomes. That's generally my favorite retest. It's the midterm retest. That's all it is. And it's my favorite because it's the most hidden. No one's going to draw that. No one except somebody in this chat is going to draw that. No one is going to draw that. That's not anything someone does. That's just like, who the fuck does that, you know? Maybe some people who have strategies that regard a lot of halfway points, because there is midpoint strategies that exist. But I've just never seen it myself. I've never seen anyone even talk about it. Yo, Lag, are you still in the stream? Are you going to look at Gamescom later? They're doing a GTA 6 reveal. That would be cool. Right next to the North. Yeah. House of White Walker. PML has been the ceiling. Good call out, Dr. J. That's what I like to see. Putting emphasis on that. Very, very good update. Because, yeah, it pretty much was our ceiling. Or is our ceiling, not was. Is. No, it's a good nickname, Gary. Linwood. I like it. It makes you sound like a really tough big guy, not gonna lie. Like you're just some big tough guy. But not like an asshole or anything. You're capable, you know? If someone was to cross you the wrong way, they might not wake up tomorrow. Type beat. Man, I'm sorry, but Lag to Death hit this right on the dot, man. I don't know if he's still here or not, but he said that pretty perfectly. I don't know his exact wording, but he said, I feel like if this happens, we'll fall under PDCP, and that's where the dump will happen. That has just now happened. We're $3 away. No, sorry. 2.5. Round of applause for Lag to Death. Seriously, that is a really, really big brain, kind of like forward-looking call-out, I'd say. Not looking to, like, call out the future, but looking to at least give yourself that sense of thought of, like, okay, well, if it does this, it should go down to here. If it does this, it should do this, or do this to that. You know, having it in your head before it happens. LOL, there are alligators that live in the river next to my house. Oh, even better. Alligators in the river. Where do you live? Are you Florida? Well, there's only like 3 states where someone would just like casually talk about alligators. So you have to be from one of them. Spoon feeding, sitting on hands, call out. Sounds like a kinky OnlyFans. Oh, that's right. You're around me. I was gonna say only people from like Texas, Florida, and what's the third state that I would definitely throw into this crowd? Probably Louisiana or one of those super southern states. But people from those states will just casually talk about shooting things, alligators, and whatever, basically. I mean, it's like people from the South are just built different. I watched this comedy special that was so fucking funny. And it was basically a guy making fun of, like, the South. And this joke was fucking hilarious. He was basically breaking down, like, how crazy we are in the South. And I've never thought about this. But he was like, yeah, man, when you're in the North, like, people just want to do, like, normal things. He's like, but you go to the South. He's like, man, you'll randomly walk into a neighbor that wants to have you shoot their gun at a broken down car at the end of y'all's, like, cul-de-sac or whatever. and act as if that's like a normal thing. Like, and I was like, but that is a normal thing. And then that was like his second bit to the joke is like, we also think that it's normal, but it's not. It's like, whatever, bro. You just don't understand us. I thought that was funny though, because I have had that happen a lot. It's like, damn, he's kind of right. We do just kind of like shoot at a bunch of random things for fun. We're like, hey man, check out my new shotgun. Let's go shoot this tree, or let's go shoot this broken down car. Like, that was so accurate. I didn't know that wasn't like a normal thing that everyone did all across the country. I guess some people just don't test out their guns. Or go to shooting ranges at least. Like, damn. Those are pretty fun too. Or clay shooting. Clay shooting's the best. LOL, yes, so nonchalant about gators. Yeah, exactly. Just like, it's just a normal thing. Yeah, Louisiana, Mississippi. My son shot 3 different guns off my porch yesterday. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's exactly what I mean. Like, that is normal to us. But apparently, to other people, it's not. North versus South jokes. I just thought that was funny. Like modern day North versus South jokes. Nobody go into the dark place, please. It's not what we're meaning here. By the way, while we're sitting here, Neri, you kind of drew this out of me, but let's try to get a level in between here and here. So the first thing I do, Neri, in case you ever see me do this in the future, is I sometimes try to find a real level that's between these, and if not, then I make one. So I'll show you. Make one the 50%. So not really make one. But I try to see if there's anything in between that area, because obviously I don't want to, like tomorrow or the rest of the week, I don't want to be like, guys, under this level, short to 636. That's the first target. Like, no, there's other levels there. Like instantly, I think I see this. There's a gap up right there. 637.11. 637.11. And honestly, now that I am here, I think I am just going to grab that day's open and this day's, I almost said close, that's an open as well. So now when I look down there, it shouldn't be as open-ended, and it's not. And sometimes if I see 2 levels like that close to each other, I will literally just sum them up. Plus I can remember that one of these is the open of that red day, the other one's the open of the green day, so it's also not that far off from each other from when they were actually made. And there we go. If I was going to have to add a level, I would have gone from whatever the last level was. Probably, I think it's this one. Yeah, I would have gone from this level to here and drawn the halfway point. Or that level, whatever the fuck the halfway point was. But yeah, so if anybody was wondering, that's what we would do. Since there was kind of an open-ended space under us. And now you can see it's like completely, perfectly spaced out. It's not super ugly. Looks manageable. This omelet smacks. It sounded like it was gonna smack, to be honest with you. 3-bar play breakdown, low of day target, good looks Gary. Round of applause, Justin. Good for you, man. He said closed 150% on the triple Q put. Runners on break a PML, but waited for the retest of the 9 on the 15-minute. Good stuff. We like the 9. We respect the 9 around here. And get scaled in there on strength. Good shit, dude. Huge gain. Huge gain. Ugly hammer on the 5-minute, though. Yeah, we'll see what happens. We did just dump from basically high of day to here, so I think it's fair enough to assume that we should get some sort of buyer reaction to short term. Not really in terms of like it's bullish, more in terms of like it might set up for another bear setup. No problem, Neri. Thank you for reminding me, honestly. That was a very good question you asked. Kind of helped me think about other things too. Damn, Coinbase almost down 4% now. $642 test. Most likely, because you do have this price action right here, and then you have this low right here. So even though it's not a marked level, yeah, you probably are going somewhere around here if you get that somewhat buy reaction, but if this is just to slowly pedal things out, that might have been it. I'd also like to remind everybody that they need to be looking at their financialjuice.com news sheets thing that I posted in daily updates. There's a lot of big news coming starting tomorrow. I think Monday was like, oh fuck, let me not touch anything. I think today was going to be a great day. I think tomorrow has a chance of being a great day. But I think the rest of this week is going to probably fizzle out in between a range. But I think when people hear me say that, they think, oh fuck, I shouldn't trade. They're thinking like tomorrow, or yesterday, I mean. No, I think it's going to be a large range. I think you'll still have plenty of great like intraday trading. But you need to be more in the mindset of like, okay, we're going from one barrier to the other and probably back and forth. So we'll see what happens this week. But if anything else comes out, we'll know. But yeah, a lot of big stuff. And I told y'all weeks ago, I told y'all last week, it's happening this week, but Jackson Hole is pretty important. There's a lot of Powell this week as well. We have jobless claims. We have a lot of data that could affect how interest rates are either affected to the upside or downside. We don't really know yet. So far, everything's still looking good to where everything is strong and interest rates should come down, but something could change last second. We don't know. But that's just what is happening right now. I was thinking it would hit low of day before the retest. Just watching, trying to anticipate moves. No, that's good. That's good. You should be anticipating. That's a really big thing. Some of the best traders in my chat, and I think of like 6, 7, 8 different people at once when I say these things, but I don't like to say their names because then it could put pressure on them. But also, it's not fair to leave people out because if I say all those 8 names and there's 8 more I don't remember, then that's kind of on me. But in general, though, a lot of the better traders in my chat, regardless of them knowing it or not, are really good at it because of the anticipation, but not guessing. They're not guessing. You know what I mean? I know you meant it that way too. Just anticipation, no guessing. But it really is like that. Like it really is like a fun guessing game. Like, okay, well, like setting conditions. That's really what it should be called. Setting conditions, you know. If I'm like, I'll be bullish as long as it holds this, then I will continue to buy things. If I get a higher low that holds this, I'll buy calls or this or that. You know, creating conditions for yourself that aren't unrealistic. You know what I mean? Like you said, anticipation, though. And then same thing, like, oh, okay, well, if it breaks this, I'm going to go to here. If it does this, I'm going to try to hold this. And not just before a trade, but during a trade, too. Let's say you're in a trade and you're trying to make things up. You know, it's not really going to help you. You need to go off of what you said beforehand. What did I say I was going to do if it did this at this level or do that at that level? You need to be conditional. Being conditional is very, very, very important because it creates a set way of trading. You're not doing this and then in a couple of minutes you'll be changing it up. Like, no, that's not really helping you out. Also really good to have that foresight to look ahead. To look ahead and be like, well, it should do this if that happens. It should do that if this happens. You know, understanding the probabilities of things. Very, very good post. This low on SPY is the daily 9 EMA. That is a notable message because a lot of the times when I don't know how far up above we were, above the 9 EMA on the daily, but a lot of the times you're up above it and you are pulling back down. The 9 is the very best first target for larger time frames. A lot of the thinking is that that's where we're going first. That's your your step 1. Let me reset, you know. Very, very good messages today. How's the stream so far, by the way? I know I've been talking a lot and going over a lot, but how is the stream so far? And how's everybody doing in the stream? Anybody doing well? You guys beating yourself up? What's going on? Give me a vibe check. Yeah, vibes. Ooh. Great. Glad to hear. Multiple two hammers there now, Linwood. Might be seeing the second one. Hold it. You also have a reset doji there. Hammer to doji to, if this is a hammer, that would be good for buyers. Based on candlesticks. Man, I'm honestly just happy because I got to trade coin. I traded something that wasn't SPY and Triple Q or IWM. Nice change of pace. Also feels good because it was something we had covered the night before. Got to look at it again this morning. A little pricey, so I don't blame if anybody didn't join me on that one. I wish I could have done that for like AMD or Nvidia. And then more people could have joined on that. But that's not the whole point of this. It's not to try to create people to follow. It's to create people to lead. Do their own thing. While still sitting inside the parameters of the system. You know, you really shouldn't try to step out the bounds of that. Unless you're just testing shit, which is totally cool. Can't beat up a curious mind. Always enjoy your tutelage. Thank you, Chuck. I always appreciate your messages, man. I hope your day is going well, Chuck. Working now, not as much after that great move, just listening. Nice. I'm happy to hear that, Garden. And thank you for your updates today, seriously. You are always appreciated. It's loud here, so I'm missing a lot. Did you mention using fibs for continuation earlier? It was when we were near high of day. Yes. We're going over that midterm retest fib, just showing, hey, if you can see it hold... Here, I'll just show it again real quick. But I'm pretty sure you're understanding what I meant, because you explained it pretty well. But yeah, just the break of going over a level, and if it's holding the 50%, which it's funny, it actually was like right here where that level was. It was basically where those candles held. And then it fell and gave us that short-term invalidation before getting down here. Because I don't want to be wrong all the way to right here. You know, that's a lot of being wrong. I think we all know that's a lot of volatility going the wrong way. But yeah, we did talk about that. And I'm sorry to hear that it's very loud where you're at. See, that was a good question. Kind of like reinvigorates that really, really good point made. We are good. Took a 15% call on Tesla just after the 30-minute. Oh, the 30-minute mark and done for the day. Dude, good shit. See, this is why I like our chat, man. Like, in the moment, it feels like no one's here and no one's making money. But then, like, 30 minutes go by, an hour goes by, and less people become less busy, I guess. And they're like, hey, man, I caught this or I caught that. Like, it's just so cool. We got so many of these, like, older traders. I say older, I mean, like, mature. We have mature traders who actually can do what they want and attempt to do their own thing, you know? It's kind of cool. It's really nice. You don't have, like, 60 people in here waiting to be like, oh, my God, good shit. Like, we don't need yes men in here. We just need leaders. And I'm happy to see that. So far, I've seen nothing but. You go level to high or level to low, Doctor. So whatever your last level was that you're using for breakout, use that and then go to the high. And then vice versa. If you're breaking a level to the downside, here, I'll just show you. Breaking level to the downside. What the hell? There we go. Breaking level to the downside. Say that again. To the low. So like in this instance, when we were drawing it to the downside, we were going from level to low before slowdown. And then we were seeing where that 50% was. Same thing here, which I don't think this was the level. I think it was the other one before I deleted it. But I'll draw this just for example's sake. Oh, no, it is that one. And then you can see here, level. I think this is pre-market high. Level to high. And then you see the 50% there. And how we can use it for short-term direction before it started moving more. Which I bet on the 1 minute, after drawing it on the 5 minute, it's probably a lot easier to manage. Price action-wise. PML to low, yes. But you wouldn't do, like, I think people hear me say that, though, and they're like, oh, so he means here to here. No, that's not where the first low happened. From here to here. That's just what we see now because we're like, oh, okay. In reality, you'd be drawing it from here to here. We already technically broke to 50%. It's a little bit tedious, but it is very, 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 very helpful. Especially for micromanaging your trades. It's very helpful. So now you know, like, a rule of thumb. Okay, well, of this dip, it needs to be above this. Of the dip that kind of got us down here, we need to be above this. And that still doesn't have us in the resistance. So not only is it a good rule of thumb, it kind of lets you, like, kind of set the tone of, like, okay, how much selling actually happened and how much buying needs to happen for us to get back to square one. In this case, a lot. No, you're good, Doctor. You're good. If you ever need me to go over that with you or make another video for you, just ask, dude. I'll send it over, no problem. I would have to go locate the older videos that have already explained all this, but it would be nothing to just do it again. But in theory, though, that is how I like to grab those. Some people will tell you, some people that have been in one-on-ones with me, they'll be like, yeah, Bueller calls those the bullish and bearish fibs, blah, blah, blah. Like, I really don't care what you call them. I just know that the method works and it helps. And it's just beneficial because it's, let's say you're too far away from the level you were trading at, you know, and you're trying to make your decision right then and there before it gets too ugly. You got to be able to go off of something that's always going to be consistent. What's more consistent than drawing from level to low or level to high? You know, these are a level that you're not moving, you know, for that day. Pretty good curl up here by the buyers. I don't know if this is going to be short-lived or not, just because of what we've already seen today. It's all good. I was just getting sloppy with my fibs and trying to tighten it up. You're good. That was a really, really good topic to go over. I love going over that because I was actually complaining a little bit. And I was saying I don't see enough people using them, which is crazy to me because I believe them to be the easiest thing to draw, and they end up helping you a lot. And it's for when you're actually in a trade, micromanaging, or when you're looking to get into a trade. A lot of people like to just sit there and be like, well, no candle break. Okay, but what else was going on? There was other levels. Break even on the day. Tried calls off PDCP bounce. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm yawning. I'm so sorry for yawning. Shit cut again. Took the retest of PDL to the 641.25. Retested from. Oh, I see. I was gonna say, damn, that's actually pretty clean, but I see why you're break even. Can I ask you one thing, Carter? And I think this is something that's because I'm only gonna try to go over things that are consistent. When you were taking the retest trade of PDCP, was it part of this breakout candle? I know you said retest. I'm just asking again, but was it this one, or was it this one? I can only criticize one of them, is why I'm asking. Woosaw. Me as fuck. Me all the time, anywhere, ever. That's funny. No problem, Doc. Thank you for asking that. Ugh. Oh. I was just trying to drink water. Woosah. Thank you guys again for all the likes. Very cool of you. Very, very cool. Entry 933, exit 940, CT. Thank you, dude. Fuck, you're on it. 933. Okay, so it was part of this candle. Okay, so I want to go over one thing that is actually consistent with you. Um, and then exit. Okay, not a bad exit, honestly. You gave yourself a chance. Entry, though, I do want to go over. So, in order of operations, Carter, do you remember when we go over things, we're like from open? You know, we're kind of talking about trend from open, and we're kind of using that as like our baseline. There's another like stretch to that I go over in those series of videos, but it's also using the context of what has happened already. So, why I was asking, let me give you context too. Why I was asking, were you a part of this one or this one, is because this one was actually a potential retest, whereas this one, it was more of a reaction, if that makes sense. Now, if this was the first time this had ever done, like being down here, it would have been fine. Like if this didn't happen, this right here, it just did like the retest down and then maybe this candle popped up, I could maybe see you going for that because it's the first time it's potentially trying to do a retest. But it's not the first time. It's actually the second it's trying to do. And like I said, more of a reaction. Because you already have a potential test here. It failed. So now you and me, holy crap, I can't speak. You and me should be in the mindset of like, all right, this should go down until we see like some basing or some sort of candlestick pattern that shows up and says, hey, I'm trying to hold this, even if it is above today's open, which in this case it is. It actually is above both of those levels, even just ever so slightly. But in my experience, this is not a retest. This is a reaction because it's already tried to do a retest and then it broke and it failed. So now because we've seen this invalidation, we need to see something else. Not just a single candle. So that's my only criticism of your trade, is that I don't think that that's a super strong retest, but it actually is like kind of bullshit because it is holding pretty good levels. But I wanted to go over that because it's like the order of operations. Like this has already happened once. It shouldn't be happening again. And I'm sure we could find examples where the first retest failed and the second worked. But that still isn't something consistent that I want to go off of. If that makes sense. Maybe I need to explain that differently. I see exactly what you were saying. It's learning and working in the moment of after seeing. Yes, exactly. After the first retest. Then understand that second part. Exactly. Fucking Carter's right on it. I don't need to re-explain shit. He is on it. That's why I asked you, were you a part of this one or this one? Because if you would have said this one and you still cut, I would have been like, well, fuck. I mean, that was the best chance the buyers had all day. Like, I really can't complain at your entry. Can't complain at your exit. I didn't mind your exit though when you did cut, because it wasn't like a horrible drop yet. But yeah, I think it was just because it was like, what the fuck? Why am I in this still? I get that. But I see it as like a, oh, we broke this level kind of thing. I need to see more than just a single candle. Like I need to see some actual retesting or an actual higher low or something. And it has to fall within the parameters of, I'll go to it as well. It really needs to fall in the parameters of the types of retests that we go over. Dude, what did I name that video? Oh, that's right. I typed out the number 3. Hold up. No? What? Guys, am I having a freaking stroke? It's right there. I'm literally blind. But it really needs to fit into the first, second, or third type of retest. If it's not one of these 3, it really doesn't need to be taken. But I'm not even just speaking to Carter here, but I think everybody needs to rewatch this a couple times because it is insane to me how easy some of these are. You know, like each of them have their own rules. They have their own habits. There's things about them that only happen on certain types of retest. People like for this one, I think this is a really good example because it actually does kind of fit with what you did. But there's it's a single candle, right? So let's say this didn't happen. This could be considered a single candle retest. But what is a single candle retest? Like, what even is that? The more important thing of a single candle retest is not only that they're good for continuation, but they're good for combining confirmation alongside other price action. It didn't really have any combination there. And also another thing, where is it at? Oh, right here. It's the very first point. Very effective when part of a continuation. Like, if it's already breaking up or breaking down, and then you see that single candle in between, that is beautiful. That is beautiful. So, when I see a single candle even trying to hold anyway, I'm still kind of questioning it, even if that wasn't the first one. So, there were two things to talk about there, but the first one more important. That first retest too was the midterm, then failed. Exactly. You're on it. And then he said, so like you said, really got to retake that retest, then play out. Exactly. And honestly, Carter, if this was to retest and hold right here, I wouldn't even have wanted to be part of that correct trade, to be honest with you. Because I would look at that and be like, what the fuck? Like, how did that hold? It would have been random, you know? It wouldn't have been something I could realistically repeat, right? Whereas the midterm retest, I could repeat that all day and make it make sense, right? When I'm right, when I'm wrong, I could tell you why. So, but no, very, very good job, Carter. I mean, regardless of your trade, you understood instantly. And I'm not trying to be like that, let me review afterwards kind of guy. Like, no, but we kind of do have to be that a little bit because we need to actually go over what the fuck happened and how we can adjust that. I'm not ever going to sit here and be like, well, you should have known that wasn't going to go green after that. It's red. It's clearly a red candle, Carter. You didn't see that? Like, I can't really go over that. I wish I could. I wish we could sit here and talk about how you can alter the future candles. Legally, that is. Legally. Let me repeat that. But no, very, very good back and forth here, Carter. I really enjoy that. Because that's like a next level like conversation for me. I feel like you're not going to hear newbies talking about that. The micromanaging side of things, you're not going to hear a noob talk about that. He's going to be focused on what's right in front of him. The micromanaging. Like, yes, we can caveman trade and be like, yes, level break and it does that. But beyond that, and what's the theory behind everything? And what's the thinking behind everything? And why do we know this? Why do we know that? So we're actually using things we know to trade. We're not guessing. But yeah, order of operations with that types of retest. That would have been sick. No, exactly. Exactly. Like, it would suck to do all that hard work and then be like, oh, it's just random. Cool. Haha. Like, I would feel dead inside. I really would. Because that right there is what annoys me personally, Carter. It's not the fact that I lost a trade or won a trade or this or that. Like, that would never annoy me or make me happy in, like, a greater sense. What will annoy me more is that feeling like you just said. It's not really the struggle. It's more or less just, like, the struggle and it's random. Like, it's like, what the hell am I even doing? And that's why I really like our system. Because it really does give a good sense of direction. Is it always right? No. But does it give you a direction? Yes. It also gives you a next step. There's always something next to do. It's never just like, oh, I'm lost. I'm here forever. No. So, I agree. I think the random feelings are more annoying than anything else. The random reactions, the random action, and then trying to make sense of it, knowing that it's random, that can be bullshit. That could be talking about our ego. That could be our ego speaking. That could be our aspirations, our dreams, you know, that could be anything. That could be our greed. That could be any of our problems speaking out like that. So that I find that annoying too. It's probably more annoying to me than even losing money. I think I would rather lose money to a reasonable trade than lose money and not even know what the fuck I was doing or going for. That would piss me off. That's why in my one-on-ones, people used to ask me like, do you ever tilt or do you ever get mad? Like, fuck yeah, I do. Like, I have bipolar. I get so pissed at certain things that shouldn't be pissing me off. But in trading, it's really easy to manage because there's things that you can be in control of, and it's like, oh man, like you're mad, but it's more or less like, you know, you could have done something better. You know, you're better than that. Like, that's passion. That's great. We love that. What we don't like is the second scenario that I was just covering, where it's like, oh, I got that wrong. Fuck, VIX is scamming me. Market makers, this and that. Oh my god. Like, no, they're not watching your account, dude. They don't give a shit. Like, that would definitely piss me off more. Because, you know, in the first scenario, it's something I can work on, something we can think about. What's not working? You know, there's things to look at. There's parts of a ship to work on, right? Whereas the second scenario, it's like I don't even we're in space and my wrenches are flying everywhere. Like there's no hope. There's no starting point. There's no end game. There's nothing. Just chaos. So, I agree. I think the random feeling is definitely a lot worse. The random results, the random anything, just the word random. Sometimes it feels like they're watching, though. I mean, they are, but in a grand scheme of things. They're not sitting here watching and going, "Oh, Bueller's chat's bullish here. Let's reverse this." No, but they are sitting here and going, oh, "Okay, well, they're probably having some calculated way of getting this and going, oh, well, we have an expected move. It already hit, and it even went past the expected move. Anytime that happens, it's gonna go the other way because more times than not, you have people still shorting, and it's about to get reversed, meaning they can destroy all of them. They can get their quick profit. So there is a sense, though, to how they look at things. I hope we all understand that as well. Yes, they are looking at this in a grand scheme of things, but they're not looking at this in any other way besides, okay, we hit a target we should not be hitting. Let's reverse it because that's going to be the reaction it should be getting. News events, too. We talk about news events so many times in here because of that. But no, I get what you're saying, though. Because they're always watching. Trading is probability. Random and luck play are a part on small scales. Yeah, 100%. They do play their parts, but very small, like you said. But he said, but goes down on big scales. If you flip coin 4 times, you may get heads 75% of the time. But if you flip it 400 times, you're probably going to get closer to 50%. That is a really good way of looking at things. Because yeah, you're right. You know, I flip a quarter 3-4 times here. I could get heads all 4 times, maybe. You know, get a little lucky. But in the grand scheme of things, like you said, I flip that quarter 400 times. I'm probably a lot closer to 50-50, like you said. I can get so damn frustrated when I see things aligned. I take my opportunity and it fails. Makes me think I don't understand the hard work, but in reality, it's just invalidated. Exactly. Sometimes, and that's where you need to get better at making that distinction. Like maybe you are already good enough to where you can make that distinction. I don't know. I'm just saying you should be able to point out afterwards, oh, okay, that was a good cut. Let me just move on. Because then you're not as like frustrated. You're like, oh, okay, whatever. Like this is gonna happen. I think also it'll help you with coming up with ways of making your losses even smaller. You know, the reason the midterm retest exists is for that exact reason. Because I used to get frustrated at taking open range breakouts, or if a level broke or something, and then I would try to figure out how to take a smaller loss or a bigger win without changing anything. And that level to low or level to high fib has been really helpful for me. And that exact example, that small example, but I agree with you. And then through that frustration, figuring out ways of like getting through that, you know, navigating through the bullshit without making things up, keeping things realistic so we never have to rely on, oh, that randomly did that. That randomly did that. No random. That pill I haven't been able to swallow. It is someone told me this once and it didn't make sense when I first started trading, but the more I started trading and the more I was involved with you guys and stream and stuff, it made a lot more sense. But you need to be a good loser, he said. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Be a good loser? What, blow my account and smile? Like, what is he talking about? And that is actually what he was talking about, what you were just mentioning right there. It's like, but it's something that you wouldn't even understand as a problem until you get to that point, right? When you first started trading, you probably didn't have that issue at all. Because you were still on like the, let me learn this, let me learn that phase, you know? Now you're in like the maintain phase, the hardest phase of trading in my opinion. But I agree.
But it is gonna fail at times. I like how Dr. J put that too, because I'll be honest with you, Carter. That was something that really fucked with me. That was probably one of my. That's probably still one of my biggest problems. That's exactly it. But sometimes it just is about being a good loser, and then also coming up with more ways to get out quicker without making shit up. Because maybe you find something I've never thought of. You know. So, take your time. But I feel that's good frustration in my opinion. When I hear someone say that to me like from that POV, I'm like, damn, okay, well, you're hungry, passionate. So it's not like it's a bad frustration. It's a it's a constructive frustration. If you were to sit there and just start punching holes in your wall, then I would question your sanity. But it's good frustration. How long should I watch YouTube videos slash read for before I open a demo account? That's up to you, dude. Be as comfortable as you want, or not at all. Jump right in. It's really up to you, dude. I can't make that decision for you, and there really isn't a right answer to that question. If anybody has given you an answer to that question, they're scamming you. You should watch this and this and this for 6 more months, and then you can start trading because I said so. Like, don't let anybody tell you that. Start when you're comfortable, or don't start at all. Renaissance Technologies Medallion Fund has losses about half their trades, yet has a 66% profit year over year. That's insane. I don't know about the math now, but back in the day when we would do the math on how many trades could you could lose like 7 or 8 out of 10 and still be a profitable, like still make profits. So if that's like your worst day or worst month, like that could be really good. That could be really good upside from there. Woots is now sacred? Yes, I believe so. Garden, did you post? You did. Wait, what is this? Oh, I see. You were sharing the contracts before the price was moving. Point 30 and point 53. And then it went in the money 0.91. Sheesh. Garden, that is very clean. Thanks for sharing the quotes too. Garden, garden, garden. Garden the goat. I felt that on so many levels. Garden said, mental trade, no live trades until I sleep. I cannot risk until I get Z's. That's funny. Wait, did you not sleep last night? Or not enough, maybe? It's the mental blocks of, okay, cut, take the smaller loss. I can get back in if it shows me. Honestly, I think another good rule of thumb that I like to use personally, and Leland does this too, it's not really in the mindset of like, let me cut this, I'll see if I can get another one. It's more or less like, let me cut this, and then I'll come back in a little bit, and then I'll see if there's another one. Adding another step to it, adding a little bit of time in between my decision making. I know I've done that a lot. It's helped. Because sometimes I try to take a morning trade. Let's say it fails. Take a break, come back. Lunchtime. By the time I come back, it's lunchtime. And by that time, you're either seeing a consolidation phase or that buy the dip moment. So maybe put some time in between too. But like you said, just like waiting to see what else pops up. I hate trying to join in on the same idea though. Like if I failed an idea once, I try my best to not touch it again. I try to get on a new idea. It's like you broke up with your girlfriend and then you're like, all right, well, I'm gonna take some time first, and then we'll see if we get another one. Like, not just jumping right into another relationship the day after. Like that would be insane. I struggle with that as well. The worst is when it works. I've said that before too. Somebody asked me the other day, they're like talking about their mistakes. I'm like, man, it really sucks though when it works, because for a longer period of time, you're gonna think that was right, and that's gonna be bad. Yeah, sometimes being right isn't a good thing. My usual 2 hours, the insomnia is killing me. Oh my god, I'm so sorry to hear that. They don't give you any medicine, I'm assuming, for anything like that. I want to message you the medicine I've been taking. I don't have insomnia, but I suck at sleeping. And this medicine's been working out pretty well. It's not like melatonin where it like makes you feel like a groggy piece of shit. I can't stand melatonin. I wish I could take melatonin. That medicine makes me feel so groggy. I can't wake up for like 4 hours after waking up after it. I don't know how people do sleeping medicine. It really fucks with me. This medicine's like antidepressant slash kind of is sleeping medicine too. But it helps you be like calm the next day. But the sleeping effect of it is fucking crazy on it. I mean, I wake up the next day and I feel awake. Like, I woke up this morning and I was yawning a little bit, but I think it was because I was enjoying my sleep. It wasn't really like, I'm tired still. It was like, no, I'm really comfy. This is rare. Give me this. Yeah, melatonin is pretty bad. I can't stand melatonin. I've been taking this other medicine that actually helps me. And it doesn't really help you fall asleep. It's like if you're laying down trying to get tired, it kind of helps you like go. Like, I don't even know how I'm trying to explain that. It doesn't like make you instantly tired. It just slowly works, and then it kind of helps you with a deeper sleep. And even through that, I wake up because I don't have insomnia or been tested for it, but I wake up a lot and like deep sleeps and stuff like that. So I can only imagine how bad you have it. 2 hours would have me losing my mind. I know that much. Oh my god, that was it, Garden. That's the medicine. That's literally the medicine. I was going to message you because I didn't want to do that. But yes, that's the medicine. Damn, it makes you feel groggy? Maybe I'm just broken. That's literally the medicine though. That is literally the medicine I was talking about. That is crazy that you typed that. Damn, Garden's got it bad, man. If trazodone isn't... Man, that sucks. I don't even know what else to say. I genuinely feel for people who have, like, apnea and insomnias and stuff like that. Like, fuck that. That is... I hate when people are like, I wish I had that. No, you do not. You do not wish you had this. I promise you, if Garden could sleep more, she would. It's not a life choice she's making. That sucks, though. I really am sorry about that. That's funny that we've been taking the same medicine. It's not even mine. I've been taking it from my mom's medicine, because she gets like overprescribed like crazy, and I'm too scared to actually go get tested for like whatever's wrong with me. I went in one time, they said I had bipolar and that I needed to come in for more tests, and I never went back again. Because the medicine they gave me was really bad. Like it was they basically gave me the same medicine as someone with ADD, and even if I have it, it's like, bro, that's not what I needed. And it really fucked with me. It made me quit. Like, I didn't drink or smoke for like 12 months because this medicine made me feel weird, and I didn't eat as much. I lost a lot of weight. I didn't sleep as much. I lost a lot of sleep. So I don't know what the fuck that lady gave me. But ever since then, I've never been back because I just cannot trust those people. And for some reason, there's a law in my state where if one of my guardians or parents have a certain doctor for mental illness, I cannot go to the same doctor. I have to go to someone else, which I think is completely horseshit. You can take it, you just can't sleep, you just can't do it and then work. Damn, that's crazy. It messes with you like that, because some days it makes me feel a little groggy, but it's like it's nowhere near melatonin. Like, melatonin isn't strong to me, but the grogginess is stronger. I don't know why. But with trazodone, it's like just right. Maybe that's just because it's me. It's just perfect for me. Garden's got a stronger, stronger body. Damn, that's so cool. We take the same pills. Some of that ADD and bipolar meds caused man boobs too. Damn, really? That's a real thing? That's horrible. But yeah, I hated that place because they basically put me on the same plan as my youngest brother, who's like super ADD, super ADHD, like super just can't keep his mind on one thing. And if you were to ever meet us, you would know that we were like polar opposites. Like, he's an upper, I'm a downer. Like, it's not even, it's night and day difference between us. And they put us on the same, like, medicine schedule or whatever. And it was horrible for me. So I've just never been back. I have untreated bipolar. But I've been taking some of that stuff, and it's been honestly super nice. Keeps me more calm, more leveled. I've been sleeping a lot better. It's pretty crazy what being prescribed the right medicine can do, even though I'm not prescribed. Vyvanse or Risperdal. Yeah, he was taking like Vyvanse and like fucking 3 other things. Like, I was like, no. I did not need that. Now, Vyvanse makes me feel like I'm having a heart attack because I'm like already focused, and then the Vyvanse like makes it worse. I don't know how people take that don't need it. It actually is crazy to me. My whole family's on that shit. I do not need it. Well, that's not true, actually. One of my brothers isn't on anything. He might be the most normal one out of us. Thanks, Garden. Honestly, I wish you could get some help too, because that sucks. I really do feel for you. Like, that's 2 hours. I genuinely would lose my mind. Like, I don't even know how you're in this stream typing to me right now. Like, you have like a superpower called resiliency, because that's just insane. And I hope one day you get to catch up on some of this sleep. I hope someday you just fall into a 2-day coma and just have the greatest sleep of your life and then return to life again. Like, I actually hope it just catches up and you get to sleep some or something. I don't even know how that stuff works. I just know it's hell, because I've had a friend one time who had apnea, and it was horrible for him. We were on 2 different schedules. Do you think you had these issues when you were physically working all day? Oh, hell yeah, I did. I was way worse when I was working all day like that. Me having this is a lot better for my mental, because I'm not having to focus on too many people. When I was in like plumbing, dude, I was a fucking emotional mess. There'd be days where I was having the best day of my life, and then the next day I'd like cry before going to work. Like, it was pretty bad. My bipolar was even worse when I was physically active. I don't know what that was, but I didn't even think about it like that, though, to be honest. That would be amazing. If there's a God, I hope he heard me say that. I hope he heard my wish, Garden. It heard my wish. I quit taking them. I would literally drive 55 on the freeway and drool in front of the TV. Wait, what are we talking about? You talking about Vyvanse would do that to you? I'm telling you, in Southeast Texas, allergy medicine, the drowsy kind. Yes? Damn, that's crazy. No, it never did that to me. It made me not want to do anything. Like, I couldn't think on anything except whatever was right in front of me. But the problem with some of that medicine is, like, you need to already be in the process of something as it's, like, hitting, or you won't be focused. You'll just be, I don't even know what you'll be. And I know that from personal experience because everybody in my family takes it. They seem to all be pretty functional, though. Years ago, though, we were all a mess. But I would say I'm probably the only one who's a mess now. Everyone's pretty calm now. Everyone's kind of doing their thing. It's very cool. But yeah, we need to get Garden some sleep. And we need to get some more trades in this chat. By the way, guys, we did dip below 641.25 as we were just talking about meds the whole time. I was just reading else comments. It doesn't always have to be about the stock market. We can do mental health conversations all the time. And how crazy some of us are. Some of you more than me, but it's all good. Like, who's the craziest person in chat? Like, who's actually the closest to being labeled as schizophrenic? Mike. Miker. M-I-K-R. Miker, for sure. I've read mold and certain allergies can cause insomnia. No need to respond, but another thing to look into if you haven't already. I saw Robert F. Kennedy Jr. taking so... Wait. What? Oh, meth... What is that? Why were y'all typing that? What even is that? I don't even want to say it out loud because it sounds like... I don't want to get in trouble. Well, guys, I think we can officially say we're in the lunch session of the day. It's been rather slow since we hit that hammer at 640. Dude, I thought he was too. I thought he was talking about Breaking Bad too. I was like, what the hell are we talking about in here? I was lost. Let me check Discord, make sure nothing's going crazy in there. Not a single message. All right, good. Back in the day, I'd look in chat and be like, man, I hope I look and there's people talking. I go in there now and I'm like, man, I hope no one's typing right now. More times than not, it is that way because it's good. But I love when I go into chat and I'm like, all right, there's nothing happening on the stock market. Let me go look in chat. Let's see who's typing. And I don't see anybody. I'm like, thank God. Nobody needs to be in here right now. I'm reading all that now, VC. I just didn't want to read it out loud because there's some big boy words that I don't want to say wrong. Improving cognitive function and memory in animal studies and limited human trials. Dude, I want to be on human trial. Give me the thing that they gave the Planet of the Apes. Give me that. Or whatever, what's his name? Who's the guy from Bradley Cooper? Was his name? Give me the limitless pill. If you guys haven't seen Limitless, go watch it. There's some stock market stuff in there, but I'm not going to sit here and bullshit you. It's not about that. Give me the Limitless, man. Damn, that's crazy, VC. Didn't he die in Limitless? That's a good question. I can't remember. I remember towards the end of the movie they were like discussing like how each of them are getting their own like production line going for the Limitless stuff. I don't remember though. Maybe? Either way though, he lived life in that movie. That movie was crazy. Oh, you found that on Grok. I was wondering why it was so perfectly summarized. I was like, that's not a Google search. That wasn't like a Google summary. That was like AI summary. That was like clean. Grok, that makes more sense. What if I told you it was all pronounced Grok? I finished the Breaking Bad. Oh, nice. I'm so excited for you to watch El Camino more than anything. And it's really good for you because you just finished Breaking Bad, which I think was that your first time? Or you've already seen it and you just wanted to rewatch it again? Either way, it's really good to watch all the Breaking Bad and then watch El Camino because it rolls into it so perfectly. The only difference is the quality of production, but it's like, no shit, it's a movie. Of course, the quality of production is through the roof. That's your second? Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, so it's perfect for you because you're gonna have everything in mind of what just happened, and then you're gonna roll into that movie and you're gonna be like, oh my god. It's like when you watch what are those movies called? Where they all die or something? Final Destination or something? Like the weird movies where like weird things happen and people die in random scenarios. Those movies are all stupid. But when you watch them all together, it's like, holy shit, my mind was just blown. Like those movies are actually genius. But on their own, they're really stupid. I can't even remember the name. I think it's Final Destination or whatever. There's a new one coming out. I can't remember the names of them. But the people die in all the weird ways, and it starts with the plane, and then the car, and then this and that, and there's like all these weird things. But those movies are really, really good when you watch all of them because they connect. It's like that, though, with Breaking Bad and El Camino. Like, you roll into El Camino, and it's still going on that timeline. It's not like 5 years later. No, none of that bullshit. Yeah. Okay, so it is that. Nomley is based. It is Final Destination, okay. Because I hated on those movies. Dude, I didn't even smoke anything. I'm just trying to breathe. What I was trying to say, though, before I almost choked on my own spit, is I used to hate on those movies like crazy. But then someone made me watch all of them, and my mind was blown. I was like, dude, this might be the craziest like sequel type movies I've ever seen that actually put heavy emphasis on them being sequels to each other and like how they connected and stuff. Because basically the beginning and end of each of those movies are connections to other movies. You only watched a few of them. If you ever take the time to watch them again, because if I remember correctly, they're not even that long. They're all like an hour 20 to hour 40 or something like that. They're like scary movie times. Definitely watch them in order and watch all of them. And it'll blow your mind how it keeps connecting. It's like, what the hell? No, those were crazy. That's like the weirdest sequel series I've watched. That like was actually good, but weird at the same time. I'm glad Nomley was here. I didn't want to feel crazy. I said Final Fantasy at first. I was like, wait a minute, that's not right. But I knew Final was in it. Does the one survivor guy make it? Yeah. Does this happen at the end? Destroys all plot and reasoning to go watch it yourself. let's talk about remakes. Is there a remake that y'all really liked, and is there a remake that really pissed you off? Of an old series or old movie. Old series or old movie. It could be series or a movie. Doesn't have to be just one. And you can't say Ghostbusters. That is too easy. It is too easy to hate on Ghostbusters. You have to find something else. Anyone in here could say Ghostbusters sucked. The remakes. But I want to hear, are there any good remakes? Or are there any other bad remakes that we're all not thinking about? Ghostbusters being the most obvious one. They really said, let's do Ghostbusters, but this time let's do it with kids. And then they're like, all right, this time let's take out everybody and just have all women actors. Like, we'll just have actresses. Why do they keep changing the variants of Ghostbusters? Like, just leave it. We don't need more. It's fine. It was fine the way it was. It really was. There's a Battlestar Galactica remake? I wasn't into that show growing up, but my best friend at the time was. And I could never get him to shut up about that series. And he would always be like, what the frick? Like, he would always say that stuff to me, or whatever their word was for the F word. He kept saying it all the time. Damn, that show is actually super highly rated. 95% Rotten Tomatoes. It's almost a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 on IMDb. That's actually pretty nuts. Frack. There you go, frack. What the frack? That used to piss me off. Even as a younger person, I was like, nah, this sucks. Why don't they just cuss? Them trying to keep their TV rights and actually make money from the show. I was going to say a good, not really a remake, but like added on to their sequel, and it was definitely kind of felt like a remake, was the Scream movie. Dude, there's something in my throat. I didn't even hit a vape or anything. Literally just dying. Was the Scream one, though. I really like the Scream add-on movie. I forgot what they called it, like a re-sequel or re-prequel or whatever the hell the weird word was. They made up their own their own word. One second, I'll grab some water. I'm just dying here. I'm going to get a video of this next time so you can all see it for yourselves, but my dog loves going on like a secret mission. It'll sit near my door or hide around my room. I'll open my door, go out into the hallway. She'll sneak into my room, and then she'll try to find a sock. And that's it. And when she takes the sock, this is the best part, her butt jiggles like she's like the happiest dog that's ever lived stealing the sock from me. Oh, you came back and you don't have the sock. Yes. Yes. You just wanted to be scratched. Anyone watch Total Recall remake? No, but I have seen Total Recall. I didn't even know they had a remake for half these things y'all are saying. That Colin Farrell actor dude is so freaking good in that Gentleman movie. Do we have any questions or comments to add into the stream? I'm not ending it right here, right now, but I will in a few minutes or so. But if we have any comments or questions to throw out before we end it, perfect time for it. As I clear my throat for the 3,000th time on stream. Lily. Come on. So my dog was actually part of like a pack of dogs, like 9 or 10 of them, and we got one of them. And we get to see pictures of all the other dogs. And there's one dog that looks identical to this one. Like they were like twins. But all the other ones like turned like super dark, like the golden retriever side of them, while mine stays white. I love it. It's like white with a little bit of tan. But it's funny because she's supposed to look a lot like a golden retriever, and she's like, she's white like the doodle. Golden doodle. It's like literally the best dog I've ever owned. It's fucking awesome. This dog literally like shits on all other dogs I've ever owned. Which is funny because if you would have asked me that, I would have said that was impossible. Like a few years ago, I would have said that's impossible. There's no way we ever get a better dog. This dog's so fucking awesome. When is Lily getting her own Instagram? Oh my god, that is such a good idea. She has like a perfect photo dog at the not the kennel. Where do you take your dog to get the vet? We took her to the vet. I think it was like our first or second time. I can't remember. But when we went, they asked if they could use her as like an image on their website, and we're like, yeah, like what, some small image? And they were like, nah, she's like the main image on the front page. We're like, okay. My dog's a legit model. Bet. My dog's more famous than me. Bet. Pretty funny. We got her a kiddie pool. She fucking loves water. She's got this like water bowl she drinks out of with the bigger dog that we have. And she sometimes plays in it. Like pulls water out of it, and then sometimes she'll like put a toy in it, like her duck. I went over there one day and her duck was like face first in the water, like she was giving it water. I was like, what are you doing? I had to clean that up. She's really fucking funny though. I love this dog. It was Sunday. I was taking care of her. And then yesterday morning, I had to take care of her and another dog. And she slept in 3 different spots in the house that day. She slept in like the guest bed where I was. Then she slept on the couch. And then I took her back and she slept on my bed. I'm like, Jesus Christ. This dog's sleeping everywhere. I do spoil her a little. Anytime I'm having like steak, I always give her a piece. At least one piece. I'll cut it up really small. She likes popcorn. She likes she likes anything. I mean, I'm not joking. You could give her a carrot, you could give her lettuce, you could give her fucking anything and she'll eat it. I don't give her too much, but it is kind of nice to spoil your own dog here and there. Plus the look on their face when they eat like a piece of steak. Oh my god. Like off the grill and everything. Mm. She really likes popcorn. I can't give her too much of it, but she really likes popcorn. Yeah, we're gonna get Pan W. My bad. I saw you mention earlier, man. I was just talking a bunch. Sorry. Well, this one's pretty easy. I think you know exactly where I'm gonna go with this. I said easy because there's gaps everywhere, so it just makes it really easy to chart. So we'll just remember going forward that this is like of the gap up, and these are targets of that gap up, and then we'll just leave that one. So the big thing is you want to focus on the 50%. So you have this one right here, which this is actually a pretty fair reaction. I mean, they opened pretty damn high, and if they're going to fail, it's going to be under that level, so that makes sense. But they're still above the other 50%, so that's something. It's kind of like they just reset. I would just say this is a reset candle for bulls until proven otherwise. Any loss of this area, definitely not a good sign. And rejecting this isn't the best of signs, but just because this is the first time we've gotten up here and they opened here, I think it's fair to assume that they're allowed to have a red day against that. That would be my game plan short term on that. You have to take your dog's bowl to the kitchen and stir it, or he won't even go sniff it. What the fuck? Moderator cleanup on trade floor. I really am sorry about these bots, guys. I don't know where they're coming from. And I think I'm done updating my links. Like, next time somebody wants to join chat, they can just ask me for a link. Because it is a little insane how many of these are getting abused. Like, I'm actually deleting all invites, all invite codes right now. I just deleted them all. Because that's crazy. Like, I have to ban this guy that hasn't even typed in chat yet. His name's in all Chinese. His bio is in all Chinese. And then his server name was in Japanese. Wait, what? I know I'm from America, but come on, man. Anybody could see the difference. Thanks for telling me that while I'm in stream too, because I hate when I like go in there after the stream like, oh, I gotta delete this and delete that. Thank you for telling me, because I don't mind being interrupted for that kind of thing. Please interrupt me when there's someone in chat like that. He thinks he's getting gourmet food if you stir it before. You know what's weird about my dog? Is my mom has this bigger dog that eats different food. If I mix that dog's food in with my dog's food, it'll eat it. Like, no problem. But if I just give it its food, it'll take its time to go eat it. It makes no sense to me. Also, when I'm at my mom's and I switch their bowls, I trick the dogs. I'll literally put the big dog's food where the small dog's food is, and I'll flip it. And then they both eat it, no problem, because they both think they're getting something they're not supposed to. If you just trick the dog into thinking it's eating something it's not supposed to be eating, it'll literally destroy whatever's in front of it. I've studied my dogs pretty intensively. I'm not letting them miss out on that. What's up, Alexis? Good to see you, man. And yeah, stream's still running. I was actually looking to see if anybody had any comments or questions before I ended it, but I was giving people time before I ended. What's up, Pearly Falcon Tsunami? How's it going? Super Red Day? Yeah, not a not a Green Day, that's for sure. My bad. I'll go back to this. I was on Pent W still. I'm coughing. I'm getting the hiccups. What is going on? Why are property taxes so high? Well, it's different everywhere, but and there's like 6 or 7 different things that can affect that. I have no idea. I'm not going to sit here and try to act like I know what I'm talking about. I have no idea. The economy. Gary. He's not wrong. He has been keeping me distracted. We talked about all sorts of things in here today. You think this is the start of red season? I don't really like to talk about stuff like that. I think putting yourself in this mindset of like, oh, we're going to be going down for the next 3 months, or we're going to be going up for the next 3 months, is honestly just a bunch of bullshit. If you actually go back test seasonality, it's just a bunch of bullshit. I do think that we slowed down against our highs, yes, and that if more can be given from here, yes, you could be seeing a lot larger red days for a longer period of time. I do agree with that. But I'm not going to sit here and discuss seasonalities when I don't even believe in them. Yes, seasonality statistics exist. Does that mean they work? No. So what's the point? Every year is different. We have a different president with different policies every 4 years, so what's the point of paying attention to seasonality? I get the whole buy in July, sell in a few months talk, but like everything else is just eh. But we can base it on price action if you want, just because that is something I like to do. Now we have started to slow down, and we talked about it ever since this candle appeared, just because this is a doji, just a dead candle. It's basically a zeroed out candle, and we're looking for price action from this candle, because that can really help us out. And why I said I agree with you on why it could be the start of a longer period of pullbacks is because we have this candle here and no real bullish validation to continue keeping us going, right? Then we get a dark cloud cover. Then we get another bullshit small red candle. Then we finally get a candle that actually breaks all of these days' lows. So I think tomorrow is going to be a very important day. But it's kind of funny how it lines up with the Jackson Hole stuff. Like all this important price action that could lead to... Here, let me do this. Me just now realizing we're on the mess me up please chart that I'm not supposed to be messing up. The important thing is that we finally broke this barrier here after getting this candle. So this candle was never followed up by a bullish candle. And now we're finally breaking this support. So that's why we're getting such a nice drop today. Because it's finally getting the break it's been looking for. And why does it keep doing that? There we go. So yeah, I would say this could be the start of more. So what we're looking at now is a couple things. We're looking at the 50% of this. And honestly, I just want to know for example's sake, where is the 50% of that day? Right there. Okay, so like thinking straightforward, this should be the lowest we go today. And then tomorrow and the rest of the week, we'll be looking for this to break to go lower. So that's what should happen. But of course, we could break that today, and we could go down to this level today if we wanted to. You know, I'm not saying that's not possible. I'm just saying what we should be looking for. And also, man, thank you for showing me the fib stuff. Oh, you were one of the guys from last week. That's right. I thought your name was familiar. But yeah, Pearly, no problem, man. I'm glad we went through that stuff together, honestly. I had a lot of fun doing it, and it sounded like you liked it a lot, so no problem, dude. I'm glad to see you back in here. I didn't stream yesterday, but glad to see you in here again. This weekend, I'm going to go in on your vids. Tomorrow is big, but yeah, coincidentally, cut decision very soon, huh? Yeah, probably, but that could lead to more selling. Just because we've been expecting an interest rate cut, and that's why the market's been going up. As well as the other good news happening around the world. But now that we're finally coming to this conclusion of like, all right, here it comes. I don't think you'll be getting upside after the initial cut is made, if that's what you're meaning. I think you will probably get some downside first because of the expectation of it coming out. But who knows? I could be completely full of shit. You wonder what's going to happen in Jackson Hole. All I know is that you guys should definitely stay away from actively trading as much. And that's just my recommendation. Of course, I can't tell you what to do. But that's what I would do. I would not trade as much this week because the volatility is going to be higher, meaning contracts could be pricier as well as calculated a lot more aggressively. When you're wrong, you might be wrong a lot more than you're usually used to. But yeah, we should get some pretty good movement, though, from Jackson Hole and Powell. The keynotes of Powell, I think, is going to be one of the most important things. And then you still have more data coming out on our, regular scheduled events. And that's not even counting any of the global stuff going on. So that's why I'm just focused on that. Those couple events coming out, and that's it. I don't want to think too deep on it. There's events coming out that can cause movement. That's all I need to know. But glad to see you again, man. Thank you for joining in again. I'm actually ending the stream soon. If you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to throw it out right now, and I'd gladly go over it. Especially if it's something relating to what we've actually talked about today here in the stream. I don't really like to go over things I didn't go over because I don't want to be full of shit. Man, my way baby from like 120 down this morning because I got out of work. Spy shot up and just put a call. Oh, okay. You mitigated some of your losses. Nice. You actually got some of it back. Make sure you're making reasonable trades too. I'm not saying you aren't, Pearly, but if you're going to take your loss, make it make sense. If you're going to take your win, make it make sense. Then afterwards, you can look back at it and be like, okay, let's see. What did I do? And really be hard on yourself. Criticize yourself hardcore. Because you know that you're doing things that you were trying to go for. You're not making random trades. So make sure you go hard on yourself. Good job, though. Fixing your day a little bit. A big bit, actually. Good stuff, though. It might even feel like a green day because of that. You know where you messed up? Yeah, I mean, most of the time you're going to. You're going to feel that and be like, oh, man, why did I do this? Even in the moment when you're doing it, too. But that's a good sign that you're actually trying to trade off of something that makes sense, not off of random, crap. God, my throat is so rough today. All right, well, if we don't have any comments, questions, or anything to add on to that, I think I will end the stream there. Just for a quick little review, the only thing we did in stream, I say the only thing, the main things we did in stream today were kind of really discussing about the trend around this area here. And we did a pretty good job as a group understanding that we don't really need to be jumping the gun on this move here, on this move here. And understanding there was a chance here for buyers. They failed. Seeing another fail. Not liking this one as much as the other one, as we talked about earlier with Carter. That was a really good conversation, in my opinion, that I think a lot of us could benefit from. And then we got the breakdown. We finally got some clean price action that broke down. I personally traded coin in the stream today. If anybody was with me on that, awesome. If not, also awesome. Make sure you get your review in. And then SPY. Pretty clean game plans in terms of what we had posted today. If you go to the levels channel in the Discord, we're looking above pre-market high in 643.10 for buyers. We ended up getting them for a very short period of time, like we discussed, and that's why we reviewed that in the moment. There was good open range breakout chances, but I didn't really go that far. And your retest trade failed, and this wasn't a retest. More of a reaction, like we said earlier. And then the better breakdowns happened below 642.68 in the 643.10 area, plus PML. So basically all three of these levels. So that helped out a lot. I guess I could pull it up so you guys see it. I'm not just pulling out of my ass before open, all that good stuff. And yeah, just going over the levels we had posted the night before, making sure we understand that. And then I've been doing better these past few weeks with posting extra tickers, mainly NVIDIA, Tesla, Coin, and what's the fourth one? AMD, Coin, NVIDIA, Tesla. That was 4. So yeah, those have been the 4 I've been trying to post on the side. If anybody has other tickers they want to start looking at more too, awesome. Just share it with me. Besides that, though, I think that's it. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Make sure to like the stream. If you guys have anybody you know, share the streams around, share the videos around, whatever. If I had to throw one video in your face today that everybody should make sure they have seen or at least studied, would be the types of retest, the 3 types of retest. So it was the one that we looked at earlier today in the stream. So I hope you guys check that out. If you guys need help with a link or something, just ask for it in the Discord. But I'll see you guys later on. Thank you guys again for all the likes. We had over 100 clicks again on today's stream. Seriously, guys, thank you. UNH and INTC. I have them on. I have UNH. They're all at INTC. Just for you, Al. Be patient with your wins and impatient with your losses. Preach, Chuck. Preach. Thanks, B. Thank you, Garden. Thanks for the stream, fam. Much love, everyone. Love you too, Alexis. Thank you, bro. All right, guys. See you. Have a good rest of your day.